What's poppin', everybody? Welcome to Culture Popped, Season 2, Episode 7. I think I may have blown Aaron's ears out with that welcome, but hey.
No, I was just popping.
Oh, he's popping.
So I was popping, like
popping.
I don't know, maybe there's a little too much of our Max's Man Cave from 2 weeks ago still left in these fingers.
But, oh yeah. Applause. Well, I mean, kind of fitting that we have Lady Gaga on the screen and we're doing applause because she lives for the applause. Okay, apparently
nope,
not Lady
Gaga
fans here. Okay. Well, I will don't look. Here's the deal. I'll educate you guys in Dallas. How about that?
I just know that she has an Adam's apple that's as big as her balls.
No.
Okay. The reason I say that is because that used to be what was said in the boom offices back in the day, and it's just always stuck with me because I think it's from I think it's actually a line from 40-Year-Old Virgin, but
oh wow.
Well, but yeah, it was used. It was used quite liberally in the boom offices when the bullpen was trying to be offensive with each other. They're always stuck in my head.
I was going to say there was a period in time where they were like in legitimate interviews, they were asking if she was, trans.
Really? That's cruel. Like, it's one thing to make a joke. It's another thing to
Anderson Cooper was one of the people that asked her. Like, it was really weird.
Yeah, it was,
was it like one of those things like this is what people are saying, or was it like, how did he handle that? That's
it was like a rumor online, and she handled it well. She was like, who cares? Like, if I've got a dick, who cares? So it's like,
that's a fair point. Unless you're going to bed with her, who gives a shit?
Yeah. So I was like, all right, that's fair. Weird, but fair.
But you know what? I will say this. That being in entertainment is no joke. And just knowing a little bit, I don't know much about her music, but I know a little bit about her background and some of like the abuse and the bullying that she suffered when she was in school, and she was still determined to make it, and she did, and she became huge. That does take a big set of brass balls. So good on you, Lady Gaga.
Good
Can't
on
take
you.
that away from you.
From a music side, I will say I respect her because at one point she actually went to school for like to learn the business aspect of music, and someone asked her why, and she said, well, I'm a female in a man's world, so if I need to be a bitch, I want to make sure I can back up what I'm saying and know what I'm talking about. On the other side of that spectrum, one of my good friends, his name's Monty, and he worked on American Horror Story, and he only had the nicest things to say about her. And he didn't always have nice things to say about people, but
no, so she turned him around. Good. That's always nice to hear.
Right. So yeah, positive things. Anyways, how are you gents doing tonight? Aaron, how are you?
I'm doing all right. I can't complain. Had some fun today, talking back and forth with Doc, and then Rich Johnson trying to intrude and do his little bon mots. But it's really sad because it's going into a battle of wits with somebody who's unarmed. He tries to make these points, and it's just like everything you do is just a straw man with no real oomph behind it, is it? He tried to correct Doc because Doc said was referring to Days of Future Past, and told Rich you're referring to a 20-plus-year-old storyline. And Rich was like, actually, it's 40 years ago. But and I was like, yes, 40 years would be encapsulated under 20-plus years. So I don't know. I don't know what kind of a zinger you thought you were doing there, but it's all par for the course. That's why I don't address Rich online. That's why I don't talk to him, because he's disingenuous. He's a snake, and he's not worth anybody's time.
I mean, yes. Yes, very much so. He also looks funny, so there's that too. Ha 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 ha. Ha. Take that, Rich Johnson.
Got him.
Got him. Zinger. He's probably like these Americans are idiots.
something
Dolan,
something Tories.
something Tories. Dolan, aka Drew, aka I Write Comics. How are you, sir?
I'm good. We were talking beforehand. I'm a little tired. Given walking all day. I put in over almost 12,000 steps today walking. It was nuts. So I'm like, I'm not gonna run today. I'm good. So just been spend the rest of the day at the couch, working out and just writing. So, yeah, and reading.
Sorry, I was muted. I love that you're talking about I had 11,000 steps in yada yada yada, and you're like, I run 5 miles every morning.
No, it's in the afternoon. No.
Right. I'm sorry. In the afternoon. Okay, chat. So if you wanted more reasons to hate Drew, there you go. He runs 5 miles in the afternoon. Why? Because he's a schmuck.
Yes. Fair enough.
I'm really
I was
just
on Schlemiel, but yeah.
I can run like 5 feet, maybe, and then I'm like, screw this, I'm done.
Running sucks.
Running does suck.
It does. Yeah, no, trust me, it does. Yeah.
After I quit soccer, I swore off running. It was, well, one, medically I swore it off because my knee, but two, I was so over it because when we'd have practices, my coach would we'd show up, we would stretch, we'd do one drill, and then he would say, see you in an hour. And then we would just run the complex for the entire hour. Hated it. And you couldn't walk. You had to at least have some type of you could maybe go like a walk speed, but you had to have a bounce going. Because if you didn't,
what does that do to your hips?
Oh yeah, well, these hips don't lie. It's gonna be one of those nights, folks. Just get ready. Yeah. Anyways, our stamina during games was great, but I freaking hated it. We've got a lot of fun topics to talk about tonight. Our main topic is really going to be focusing on Warner Brothers, but we have a few other things for Real Talk and KAPOW. But before we get to tonight's topics, let's see who we've got in the chat over here. We've got LK coming in. Hello, anyone home? Yes, we are. The lights are on, and if the vans are rocking, don't come a knocking. And then we've got Jana, who's here for the butts. We expect nothing less, Jana.
Oh, right.
We're glad you're here.
Jana, you will be glad to know that I'm going to get my beard trimmed tomorrow for the first time since just before Thanksgiving. So I'm going to go have some professional work done finally.
Whoa, professional work done. Ooh, la, la. We got our panel member, Drew, in the chat saying, hola.
Hola.
May or may not be missing an H, but it's fine. Jamin D, rock on, brother. How are you? Who else do we have in here? Andrew Gonzalez. He's coming in with the hey. Hey, dude. Hey, how's it going? I want to come back.
I also would have accepted sup.
Sup. I should have said sup. Dang it. We have LK. I'm telling you, the free streaming channels, Tubi, Pluto, Roku channel are better than the networks are. Just chilling, watching a Miami Vice stream, waiting for the show.
Fuck yeah.
Yep. Drew, I feel like you talk about Freebie and is it Freebie and Tubi that you talk about, or just Freebie?
Yeah, Freebie, Tubi, Pluto TV. It is amazing the gold that is on these free streaming channels, networks.
Yep.
The amount of shows, movies. I'm just like, you mean to tell me I can watch these 80s classics for free? I can watch these 90s classics for free? I can watch all these Slice to Low movies for free? I can watch Tango and Cash for free? Absolutely.
With the mainstream channels moving to advertiser models, which if you're feeding me advertising, then the service should be free. I will not pay for you to advertise to me. Go F yourself. I'd rather watch Tubi and Pluto. And on Valentine's Day, I watched Don't Tell Her It's Me, which for some of you might be known as The Boyfriend School with Steve Guttenberg and Jamie Gertz. And then I watched the 80s classic Just One of the Guys.
Nice.
For free.
The boyfriend school. Is that something that Max von Priestley needs to watch?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because much like the main character, Lobo Moronga,
Oh Jesus!
Max
That's the
is
character's name.
Max is Lobo. He hunts alone.
Lobo.
He needs no one.
Oh no. Did anyone else see Max's attempted thirst trap that he posted on Twitter today?
I did see that. I wasn't sure it was
I'm not
him.
on Twitter.
Oh well, you missed out, Drew. I'll send it in the chat. But he happened to post it like 4 minutes into me taking my lunch break, so I reveled in every minute that I was able to tease him for it. So you know, every chance I get, I take. What can I say? What can I say? LK, to follow up on their comment, it's sad. I just don't watch any network TV anymore. And they've fallen and failed so badly. I will say, I agree. Network TV does not hold up compared to like a lot of these streaming shows and what's considered prestigious TV. Even though prestigious TV is starting to get a little questionable, but
not quite as prestigious as advertised.
Not quite as prestigious.
Speaking of that, you know what's free to watch on Tubi? Hannibal, the show Hannibal that was on NBC like 7 or 8 years ago. I was able to watch for free with Mads Mikkelsen. That is one of the greatest shows in the last decade to come out of network TV, and I don't think a lot of people watched it when it came out.
He's also a great actor, which probably helps.
Yes,
but no,
Hannibal.
It was one of those shows that I had heard about and was intrigued by, but I was weary of watching network television even then. Not because
you got to watch it, man. You got to watch it. It is amazing.
I'll say not because I thought the quality was bad. I just been burned too many times by network shows that I loved getting canceled on cliffhangers, and I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can do this. So
why is everybody saying like that? What's his name? Who played Talos in Secret Invasion and Captain Marvel?
Mm-hmm.
What's that actor's name?
Shit. Why did you have to ask me?
The Australian guy.
Yep. Ben Mendelsohn.
Everybody's like, Ben Mendelsohn should play Doctor Doom. And I'm like, why are you guys like all on Ben Mendelsohn? Like, first of all, if you're going to bring back an actor who's already been in the MCU, just make it Mads Mikkelsen. Yeah. He's more fitting for the character. You can actually understand what he's saying. I don't want a Doctor Doom that's like, it's like, I love Ben Mendelsohn, but he's got that mumble mouth.
He's got that slush mouth.
Yeah, so give me Mads. Nobody remembers Caecilius. We played.
Mads just has that.
Played.
Yeah,
nobody cares.
Mads has presence, screen presence. When he shows up, it's like everyone just shuts up. And it's like he's got that Doctor Doom presence. And
where's he from? Is he German?
It's somewhere. I think maybe Norway. I think he's.
I just think he passes for Eastern European better than than Mendelsohn. So
for sure.
He's Danish.
Okay. Well, then, either do that or just go with a younger guy. Like, why are you casting so old? Why are you putting old ass Pedro Pascal in as Reed Richards? Like, he's overplayed. He's overexposed. There's no way in the world he can convince me that he's the smartest man in the world. I've seen his Twitter. So just get somebody younger who can play the character for a while, get somebody who's like in their early 40s and doesn't look like they're in their late 50s.
Fair. I don't like him on a personal level because of half the crap he says. I think he's fine as an actor. I don't see him as Reed Richards at all. But
he was good as the Viper, and he was fine as the Mandalorian. It's not like that role was took a lot of effort.
Fair.
And he was fine in The Last of Us as Joel. Thought he was effective there. But yeah, Reed Richards, no, I don't think so.
At all. But LK, what I was going to say is I try to give network television some credit because they're typically writing episodes within a matter of just a few days and then filming within 6 or 7 days. Whereas, quote unquote premium television, they're finishing all their scripts before they start filming, typically, unless you're Marvel. And then they're filming it like they would a film instead of a TV show. So Don't
worry, man, because when it comes to Marvel, Kevin Feige's genius is that he can fix it on the day.
He can fix it on the day. What's the plan? We don't know. Just go start filming. We'll figure it out.
We'll find it in editing. Don't worry about it. Just do a bunch of. It reminds me of there was this Noah miniseries that came out on regular TV. I don't know why my table is like wobbling so badly. But there was this Noah series that came out on SNL, or not on SNL. It came out. I'm sorry. Let me restart. It's been a crazy day. So it came out on network TV, and it was really, really bad, right? Like it was like, did you guys even read source material at all, or did you just like wing it? And so SNL did a sketch with Will Ferrell where it was like, from the makers of Noah comes, our new epic, the life of Jesus. And it shows like the behind the scene footage, and Will Ferrell's there dressed as Jesus, and they're like, all right, action. And he's like, what do you mean action? We don't have a script. And they're like, well, you know the story, just go with it. And he's like, I don't feel comfortable with doing this. Like, I think I want a script. And they're like, no, this is the scene where Jesus meets Peter for the first time. So just, everybody knows that story. Just go with it. And, the action. And then he's just standing there really uncomfortably. And he's like, and I think Chris Kattan is Peter, but he's like, hey, Peter. And then Chris Kattan goes, yo, Jesus. it's super awkward. And then when it shows you the finished product, it's like they're both ad execs and they're living in an apartment together, and like Jesus at the end of the bed, like working out.
Oh yeah, pumping some iron. Oh man, actors not the brightest. Which
apparently, who else isn't the brightest? The executives, the writers.
That's the truth. We'll get into that shortly. Then going through the rest of the chat, we have Nosferatu here. I'm here for Jay Bowman and Josh's gay face. I need to make sure
I don't know what people call me. I really don't see myself as Jay Bauman. I don't understand why people keep saying I look like him. It's ridiculous.
All white guys with a beard and a full head of hair look the same.
To be fair, Drew, typically when we see you on camera, you're like in your dark living room dungeon. It's kind of shadowed.
There's a lot open to interpretation when you're on
camera. A lot of mystique there.
I need to invite more people over and have them half naked walking around, see what happens.
Oh no! Whoa, man. So my mom works in education, and back during COVID, the amount of stories she had about when kids were having to do virtual learning, and then the parents would walk by like naked or in underwear.
Oh God!
Yep.
Oh. Yeah,
that happened to my friend Jesse on the very first day. He said, just mom walked by completely nude.
Yep. Yep. Some of them don't care, and then some of them realized, oh crap, I just walked by nude, and then they have that reaction and jump. But yeah, terrible.
Some of them really wanted to do it.
Those poor first graders were scarred for life. Nos also says smash that like button like Sassy smashes Truly's. Indeed. And I believe she's got a Truly Saturday night stream coming up. Friday nights. I got drunk last time. I don't remember what day it was. But yeah, definitely go check it out. We also have Ivan Sanchez in the house. Hey guys, Shield Wall of Dragons. What's up? What's up, brother? We have something debuting Monday involving Shield Wall, involving myself, Drew, Nadia. Might be worth checking out. Full teaser video should be coming later this week, but keep your eyes peeled. Other than that, who else do we have? We have Zax in the house. Joshy, what's up, Zax? How are you, shoulders? Welcome to the channel. Speaking of sassy, look at that. Oh, kisses. She's allegedly said she's going to molest me in Vegas. So I allegedly, who knows? Fascinating. Beard of Liberty's in the house. Running is fun until you stop doing it. I miss it, but refuse to start again. Story of my life, man. It wasn't fun even when I was doing it. I hated that shit.
No,
it's part of the first step.
I need something that's lower impact.
It's indeed.
Elliptical. The elliptical is really good for that. I'll say that.
True. Yeah. So the physical reason I had to stop running is my knee. I jacked up my tendon, and then when I'd play soccer games, my knee would fill with fluid and swell, and then I had to go get it drained after every game. Like that sucked.
You should do the old John Lovitz bit. The get to know me bit that he used to do. It was like, get to know me. Why do I do this? Why do I do that? Why do I drain my foot? Like it would always there'd always be like some like horrible like body thing injected in there.
That's right. Fun times. Nadia's in the. Nadia says, "What's up, Big Papas?"
Hey, I love it when she
What's
calls
up?
us Big Papas.
That's right. What's up, Nadia? Adam Frey, but where is Perch?
Hey, Have you asked Perch on? Did you even reach out?
You know, I've told you guys, I send him messages and he just says, "Who are you again?" So no, I'm kidding. I have not talked to Perch. Perch, aside from being busy, has had some other things going on. I will say that. I won't reveal details. I don't know if he's actually been public with it, but maybe in the future, yes. But I'm gonna let him kind of do his thing for a little bit, and then we'll see if we can get him.
I'll be public. I'll be public with it. Perch is currently in the midst of a very brutal war with the opposing ninja clan. So that's what's going on with Perch.
Oh yes, no lies detected at all. None.
But fear does not exist in Perch's dojo, does it?
No.
No sensei.
The day later, saw a rumor that Middleton wanted to play Doom. Maybe, but let's not. Let's just keep him.
We're not gonna be that lucky. I don't think so. We'll see what happens.
I just love to see Dr. Doom with a cigarette through that mask, just like.
He is a heavy smoker. Middleton is. So
yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Shield Wall is bouncing. Good to see you, brother. Have a good night. Thanks for popping in.
Shield Wall's leaving. I'm out.
Oh, we're out. JD Petty, where's my man Maxi Pad? Listen. If Maxi Pad is your man, I might ban you, okay? That little soy boy better not show up on this channel again. And if he does, I'm kicking him in his front butt. How about that? That's right. Not balls, front butt. You heard what I said. Perch would fight a war against Arby's. I mean, Perch has been fighting that war for a while now. So,
yeah.
But hey. Look, Adam, this is what we're here for. You know, seriously, I'm in a mood today, so thanks for making me smile. The world is an ugly place this week, and it's only Tuesday. It's been so yesterday was fine for me. Today was a weird day. But yeah, we're here to have fun. And look, that's, you know, we've had conversations like this behind the scenes. A lot of why we do this is, you know, it's kind of like time with our friends. And for the three of us, we don't live near each other. We get along really well. We enjoy talking about, you know, similar subjects. So for us, this is like hanging out with friends, and same with you guys in the chat. So I'm glad you're having fun, and we're going to try to keep the fun going if I don't get too sentimental and sappy. So first topic of the night, as we go through this string of
sorry, that image scared me of Lady Gaga there. Like,
it is a little terrible. I mean,
that's not a flattering picture of her.
No. It's not a flattering picture. She looks severely unhinged. But yeah. So Joker 2, we've kind of talked about Joker 2 in the past of, you know, do we all agree that we thought the first film was a good film, even if we don't think it's necessarily a good Joker movie?
I did not like the film at all. But do I think it was like, if it's one of those films where people are like, "Hey, what'd you think of the movie?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, it wasn't bad." And they'd be like, "Oh, so you liked it?" And I'm like, "No, not at all." And they're like, "What? What does that mean?" It's just the subject matter I didn't care for. I wasn't particularly entertained. I didn't have a good time, and I left the theater feeling kind of sick to my stomach and miserable. So no, I didn't enjoy it. But like from the standpoint of, was it a fairly well constructed film on a technical level? Yeah, I guess, you know, so it's one of those weird ones for me. Well, actually, I shouldn't say I left the theater because I didn't see it in the theater. I actually got the Blu-ray from this guy that used to come around and sell us Blu-rays cheap. And so I bought the Blu-ray, I watched it, and then I was like, oh, and I just gave it away to a friend of mine because I was like, "Have you seen the Joker yet?" And he's like, "No." And I'm like, "Here." And he's like, "Oh, cool, I'll get this back to you." And I'm like, "Don't worry about it. I don't need it. I don't need it in my collection. I'm good."
No need.
Mm-hmm. I will never watch it again.
I will say that I spent a part of the movie thinking, I don't know if I like this. And I was okay with not being quote unquote entertained because I could tell it wasn't fully supposed to be that type of movie, but I still wasn't even sure if I was enjoying it. And then I think for the end, like the last 20 minutes I was like, okay, I'm on. I guess however long it was when he goes in the bathroom and he's like dancing to the music in his head. From then on, I was like, I'm leaning more in this. I respect it, and I don't want to say enjoy it, but I thought.
Yeah, I think it was super derivative of Taxi Driver, obviously.
Oh, 100%.
And King of Comedy. And I just kept thinking about how I'd rather be watching either one of those movies while I was watching Joker. I was like, I could just watch one of those. The part that I did like is I like the part that we got the meme from, which is the "you get what you effing deserve."
Oh,
I thought that whole
yes.
bit was good, and then up to the very end, I was like, all right, there's a chunk there that I can actually watch.
Right.
But yeah, I have no desire to ever see it again.
And that bit that
And
you liked,
ironically, what do
I was just gonna say that bit that you liked, I pretty much lifted almost from a comic completely. So go ahead, Drew.
I was gonna say what do all three of these films have in common that Aaron brought up? All three star Robert De Niro.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he's in all three of them. Yeah.
Isn't he your favorite? Don't you just love Robert De Niro now? Isn't he the bestest with all the interviews he does? And having babies at like 70 something.
Well, at least at least he's at least it's not with the prostitutes. I remember he was named in the big Heidi Fleiss lawsuit a long time ago, like on her client list. And I always remember at the time, like I was like, look, I mean, if you're an actor, what's more honest, like telling some girl that you meet that, yeah, no, I'm really interested in you, and then tricking her into bed and then kicking her to the curb, or just saying, I don't want to do that, I don't want to deal with any of this, I have this much money, what do you charge for this, this is what I want, and just going and doing it. I guess it's a more honest way to get what you need.
Aaron, are you defending are you defending Vince McMahon?
I am not defending Vince McMahon.
So before we get to Vince, I have to ask it. Have you guys read the news about the Hotel California stolen lyrics lawsuit? Did you guys hear about the discovery stuff from not Glenn Fry,
Don Henley?
Yes. What happened with Don Henley back in the day that they brought up? He had done cocaine with a 16-year-old girl in his place, and she had OD'd or whatever, and they had but she was fine. I guess she was fine or whatever. The police had to come out, had to verify everything, and he got off with like a little fine or whatever, and had to go to rehab afterwards. But like all that was like swept under the rug back in the day, and I had no clue about it. I guess it happened right after the Eagles broke up. He was doing that, and I was depressed, so I was doing cocaine with a 16-year-old girl. It's like, oh, okay. Guess that's one way to do that if you're depressed.
Was Vince McMahon like representing him? Did he come in like he did with Jimmy Snuka and get like he got Jimmy Snuka off for murder?
Whoa.
No, his dad did.
Oh, crazy.
Sheesh.
But that's how it was back in the day. I mean, even like, we all love Rob Lowe today, but Rob Lowe had his scandal with like an underage girl, and to be fair, we don't know all, as much as I condemn this, we don't know all the details. We don't know if people lie about their age. People weren't always checking ID back then. They weren't as sensitive to it. So I don't want to start throwing stones unnecessarily, but Hollywood, the music industry, any of the entertainment industries, they are filled with debauchery. So none of this is surprising.
Yeah, none at all. We will be talking about Vince McMahon a little more later, but we're going to have a good little Warner Brothers session first. Warner Bros. Discovery. But yeah, so speaking of Joker, film came out. Part of the reason it was a huge success is the first film budget was $60 million, and it made over $1 billion. So big wins there. But
I'm just trying not to look at Lady Gaga's face.
Oh, I was like, are we communicating? Is this?
No, it's starting to make me upset.
What was the movie with Jeremy Renner and what's her name with the aliens? Where they're like,
what's his name with the? You know what this has turned into? This has turned into welcome to YouTube with your grandparents. What was that movie with that guy that came out that year? And he was in the movie with the horse. You know the one,
the girl with the hair. Yeah, because I almost said the redhead. Amy Adams
was called. Yeah,
Arrival. Yes, that's it.
Jeremy Renner was in Arrival.
That was him, right?
I don't remember. I don't remember him being in there. Maybe. Why not?
He was like a soldier protecting her or whatever, as she was talking to the aliens through sign language.
Yeah.
I remember the aliens. The aliens were like inky smoke monsters from Lost.
Kind of, yes, I think so.
Mm.
Look at this. Look at this. Joe Corallo pops in. He's like, "This is when I tune in. I stopped what I was doing to come watch this." Hi,
Joe,
Joe.
help us. We can't remember what movies we saw.
I know, right? We've reached that age, which is it's scary. I'm the youngest of all of us, and I'm still like, I don't know.
But you know what? It does not. It does not
Joe's
match
here to
Joe's. Joe has a great memory.
Joe's here to
Yeah,
just
Joe
put a-
does. Joe
He's
makes
just here
me
to put a blanket over our shoulders and say, "Come on, Pop, let's get you to bed."
yeah, that or say it's okay, and then that's it. Just a quick plug. I should be filming with Joe and Breen next week, so more on that coming soon. But Joker 2. So, you know, the whole point of Joker, let's make a cheaper film, 60 million, which yeah, you know, isn't super cheap, but for a major studio, cheap. And how much do you think their production budget was for Joker 2?
I'm hearing 200 million plus.
That is correct.
Insane.
That is a bad idea.
It's such a bad idea. One, I don't know if this movie is gonna get the buzz, not the hype buzz, but if you'll remember, there was a lot of conversations around this film. There are people saying, "Oh, this shouldn't be released because it's violent and yada yada yada."
No,
And
the
then-
incels.
Yeah,
And then meanwhile,
political conversations.
What film had more violence than Joker? The Little Mermaid with Halle Bailey. There were full on brawls in those theaters. Like weaves were getting ripped out. It was,
Oh my
it was
God.
horrible.
I thought you meant I still haven't seen it. I was like, really? There were a lot of fight scenes in
No,
The
there's a
Little
lot of
Mermaid?
fights in the theater.
True. I saw those YouTube videos. But yeah, so $200 million production budget plus, and it's just crazy. I'm trying to figure out where they're spending this money because I don't see why you would need it.
And it's a
It's
musical.
got to be
right?
her paycheck.
No, her. So Joaquin is 20 million. She's 12 million. So that's 32 million right there. Where is everything else going?
Sets?
Maybe.
The
It's
Batcave?
just-
I don't know.
The only thing I can think of is, but even then, like I was gonna say, maybe recording time because it is a musical. Like maybe they're getting different musical artists. I don't know. Oh yeah, for the life of me, I
was gonna
can't
say,
figure it out.
maybe publicity, maybe like the media exposure, maybe all the
No, I don't
ads
even
and
think
everything
that's
they
they
spent
haven't
on
even
it.
started that yet.
Yeah, that's a separate budget. So that
Oh, God.
completely, yeah.
Probably
So
another
this is-
100 to 150 million on top of that. It'll be
Maybe.
So it'll be like there'll be 350 million into this by the time it releases.
I don't. Yeah.
Oof.
Oh God. I don't know if like Zazzy's just riding high off Barbie and like they're in for the win, but I don't know. It's questionable. I don't think this will. Well, and I could be wrong. I don't think this will do more than Joker. I can't really see.
Oh, I think it
doing
does
more than.
substantially less.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I'm thinking half. I'm thinking it's going to do probably 500 to 600 million. I think it's what it's going to do.
Yeah.
I'll say top is 8, but that's as far as they can go, I think.
Possibly. If they lean heavily into musical, like the whole musical type.
Oh, then 400, yeah.
I was gonna say it's not. I mean, people just don't respond to it. Now, I've heard the music in it isn't really like a musical. It's more like music therapy, and then that's where you kind of get some musical numbers and stuff. All right, sure. And then maybe each of them have things in their brain, but we kind of already saw that with the Birds of Prey movie. I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited to see what Joaquin does with it again. I'd like to see him in a full movie, just fully as Joker, and see like how insane it could be. I'm excited to see what Lady Gaga brings to the table. I think she's talented, but I don't know.
But my question, like I asked you guys earlier, I think I asked you guys like probably a month or so ago, but is Lady Gaga as big a draw as she was, say, like 5-10 years ago?
Oh, when the movies that she was in flopped? Like
Yes.
A Star is Born? Like, you think,
Yes.
is she that big a draw? I don't think she's that big a draw anymore.
No.
I mean, if there is a draw, it's the Joker, and it's the way that the first movie appealed to people and drew people into the theater. That's the draw.
Yeah.
But I don't think that draw is there anymore. I think largely people are not going to the theater. People are super over these types of movies, even weird kind of, you know, one-off outside of the box movies like Joker. I think people are just kind of over it. They're over superheroes. They're over this, all of this. So I just don't see this doing as well. And if they spend $350 million on this, including their advertising budget, I don't know if it recoups.
Yeah, and we'll kind of touch on this, but Warner Brothers is broke right now, so this is super bold for them to go about it this way. And I'll agree. I don't think she's the draw that she once was. And I think she knows that to a degree, though. I think there's a reason she keeps going for certain types of roles, because I think she's trying to become that figure that has I guess a sense of prestige to them as far as film and acting goes, because she keeps trying to go for these Oscar bait type roles.
You think she's trying to EGOT, Josh? Is she trying to EGOT?
I mean, I'm sure she is, so why not? But
like Tracy Jordan.
Tracy Jordan. Who else isn't she? God, we really are the grandpa stream tonight. Why can't I think of names?
You know how this movie would cross $1 billion? Harley Quinn, played by Taylor Swift.
Oh God,
yes.
no, please, God,
and cross $1 billion. Be a $1 billion movie.
But yeah, you know what? She's going to play the Dazzler in the Deadpool film, and that's going to cross $1 billion.
$1 billion? What?
I hope not. I will have lost all faith in you. I will have lost all faith in humanity if Deadpool 3 does over $1 billion, but it probably will.
Oh, it's gonna do. It's gonna do over $1 billion. I have no doubt it's gonna do over $1 billion.
Joe says, I was just rewatching 30 Rock again. I was too, Joe. I'm enjoying another run through it. It's fantastic. Love that show.
I've never watched that show. I need to. I avoid comedies usually.
$1 billion.
What? Andrew Gonzalez. I wasn't the biggest fan of Joker either. I saw the ads and people I knew liked it a lot, though. Yeah, I think to each of their own. LK never watched it. I have not yet watched the Joker. Not against it. It just never hit me.
I think a lot of people just never watch like the movies that Aaron brought up earlier. A lot of them never watched Taxi Driver or like Raging Bull. They never watched any of those Robert De Niro films or King of Comedy. They never watched them. Never saw them. So
that's why they thought Joker was so groundbreaking. They were like, "Oh, this is amazing."
Correct.
Well, and I wish I could remember what the title was, but this film is also supposed to be like a derivative of another film.
Wait, what?
I need to look
Joker 2?
Yeah. Yep. I've gotta go find it again. It was like buried in an article like a year and a half ago. It was back when it was first kind of announced and first mentioned that it was going to be a musical or have musical elements. But I need to find that. I tried looking for it quickly and I couldn't. I failed. I failed us all. Adam Frey wants to know, why do I feel like Lady Gaga's 55 plus there? I'd swear she's
okay. Josh has lost his mic. Why do I feel like Lady Gaga is 55 there? I swear she's younger than me.
Did I really lose my mic?
Yeah, well, you're back now, but yeah, you cut out. You didn't finish the sentence.
Oh.
now I don't know if you're just miming or if your mic's out again.
Oh, this is me getting mad at my mic.
This is a professional show, everybody.
It is.
It's all part of the show, folks.
We're professionals. Yeah, no, the one thing I'm curious to see, and I will say this, is you can see like a progression of her character just simply based on the pictures that's come out between her pre-meeting Joker to her meeting Joker and then her joining up with Joker. And she starts to look more and more and more like a drug addict prostitute as she's known him. Like the longer that time span of knowing him goes, the more like wretched she looks.
So she becomes more like Courtney Love.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, Courtney Love was like tapped to play Harley Quinn back in the day.
So
that's
Kristen
right.
Bell.
That's right.
So crazy.
You know who I think is a really underrated Harley Quinn? If you played the Telltale Batman games, the second or the sequel to the first one, my friend Laura Post shows up as Harley Quinn, and I think she does a fantastic job. And I'm not just saying that because I wouldn't even bring it up if I thought she wasn't good, because I wouldn't have to. But I think she's really good. I think that she captured just enough like Arlene Sorkin, but then also made it her own, a little more like Long Island Brittany Murphy from Clueless kind of vibes. It's a really interesting performance. Go check out footage of it on YouTube if you guys get the chance.
Vex Electronica, what's up? Brown chick realness in the house. Happy to see you here. She said, I'm ready for Lady Gaga's Monster to be on this film's official soundtrack. It's actually a banger. Sure. Sure, Vex.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean,
Okay.
I don't know. I can't dispute that. It could be a banger.
Neither do I.
Josh seems to be
Look, it's
vacillating
fine.
on committing to
It's
this.
it's a fine pop song, I guess. Maybe it works. I don't know. She says that boy's a monster, and then she repeats, "He ate my heart. He ate my heart."
I like that one where she's off the deep end. I like that song, but I actually like it better by the girl from Pentatonics. So I don't know what that says about me, but
I couldn't tell you who that girl from Pentatonics is, but I think I know what she looks like.
Yeah, well, that's all you need to know.
Oh yeah,
I know Poker Face. I know that
and
song.
then she's got pipes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Poker Face. And then I remember the Disco Stick song. That was during her getting popular. Yeah, that was during her getting popular phase where it was like, I'm going to do every degrading thing that Madonna did in her entire career, but in like the first 2 years of mine.
There you go.
Burn through it.
Just get it out of the way. Poker Face, the song where the song where she says fuck her face, fuck her face, and it never got censored for radio.
No, because they thought that it was Poker Face. Which also Poker Face also maybe should have been cut for radio.
Oh, agreed.
By the way, there's a Darkwing Duck villain named Poker Face. That was from the Disney Adventures comics, and that we reused in the Joe Book series. So there you go. It all comes full circle.
Was he a sex deviant?
No, he was just he had suits of cards on his outfit.
Oh, and that makes sense. That makes more sense for the kiddos. Beard of Liberty. It's a musical that immediately means a fairly large part of the population will skip it. I completely agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I will never forget going to see Mamma Mia with friends because I was asked to go. I did not necessarily want to go to the movie theater to see it. And then we're in there and the movie starts and like 30 seconds into the first musical scene, you hear a guy go, "Oh, fuck, this is a musical?"
What have I gotten myself into?
Yeah. The only musical I like, one of my favorite films of all time is The Blues Brothers. That is the only musical I enjoy.
What was that Hugh Jackman one? The Greatest Showman?
Yeah, that was good.
I liked that one. That one had a lot of visual spectacle though that kept me engaged.
Right. I liked if you guys have never seen Once, I really liked Once. But see, that to me doesn't feel like a musical because all the music in it are musicians playing songs. So
I liked the Team America version of Rent.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Everyone has AIDS.
AIDS.
AIDS. The Pope has got it, and so do you.
I love this. I just looked this up. Lady Gaga is actually in Joker 2. I thought it was a joke. No, it's very real. It is.
You think we photoshopped this? We just.
I mean, there is some Photoshop here, but yeah, no, she's in it. She is definitely in it.
I mean, I hear she was good on. She was good on the show with the American Horror Story. I hear she was good on that. I would know because I stopped watching after the Circus Freaks one that they did when Jessica Lange sang "We Can Be Heroes" at the end in her terrible German accent. We could be heroes, and I was like, "Oh God, no!"
Yeah, I didn't finish that. I think the only season she did though was the vampire season, and then she popped in a little bit for the Roanoke season, but she had no lines. She was just like a I don't know, a witch that didn't speak. In that.
Yeah, no. The only thing I liked about American Horror Story, that Circus Freaks season, which is the last one I watched, was the clown with the face mask, and then once the clown was out of the show, I was like, I'm good.
Yeah,
it was kind of like that season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when it had Ghost Rider for a little while, and then he was gone, and I was like, oh, I don't care anymore.
He wasn't fully gone though. He comes back.
I know he comes back. I know, but like I skipped the middle episodes. I was like, just let me know when Ghost Rider's back.
Oh, those were some of the best episodes, though. Oh man,
were they? Yeah. Okay, we're gonna have to. You and I are gonna have to do a deep dive on Agents. I'll do the cherry popped when we do Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because those later seasons, like after Ghost Rider, I didn't watch. And the
Okay,
middle part I didn't watch.
fair. Good, really good character stuff in those later seasons. Kind of to Nosferatu's point, and I think he's got a valid point here. Joker was elevated by Phoenix's performance, but the more I've watched it, the more mediocre it is. I can get that. I think once you kind of get past the performance, what else is there left for that? So
That's why I gave away my Blu-ray. It was just one of those movies where I was like, I never need to see this again.
Correct.
Indeed.
I've only seen it twice, and like never just needed to see it again.
Nos also says Sweeney Todd was a decent musical because of the violence. Agreed. I just didn't like Johnny Depp as Sweeney Todd. And I like Sweeney Todd prior to the film coming out, but
Who do you see? Who would you replace Johnny Depp with in that film?
It's not so much a visual thing. It's just one.
No, I mean just performance-wise. Who do you think would Who would your ideal? Like Josh has been given the power to cast a new Sweeney Todd.
Shoot, I don't know. I'd have to think about this.
Michael Fassbender.
No, he needs to be James Bond.
I would have to know.
Henry Cavill needs to be James Bond.
Henry Cavill does need to be James Bond. I would have to hear people sing because part of what I didn't like was Depp singing in that, and I don't know. I just saw Johnny Depp. Let me put it that way.
Fassbender should be Bond's nemesis.
I'm down. Someone write that film right now, like 100% there.
Although I do love the meme of Mads Mikkelsen just going back to Mads of them playing Hungry Hungry Hippos instead of roulette. It's like, it appears your hippos are not as famished as you claim, Mr. Bond.
Anytime anyone mentions Hungry Hungry Hippos, I just think of Donnie Darko at this point. But yeah.
I always think of The Simpsons because now we play the waiting game.
The waiting game.
The waiting game sucks. Let's play Hungry Hungry Hippos.
Hungry Hungry Hippos. Jana Copa likes West Side Story. Indeed. And if you haven't seen Jana's
the new one?
No,
with the
original, right?
Yeah, the old school one.
The one with Natalie Wood before Robert Wagner killed her.
This was Jana's first video where she wrote a comedic review of West Side Story and then had Copa read the review, but the recording of him reading it was his first time reading it. So freaking hilarious. Anyways, I think we've kind of discussed all we can really discuss on Joker 2. Until we get a trailer, I really don't know how I feel about it.
I won't be seeing it. I don't care what the trailer
I'll
is
see
like.
it.
I won't be seeing it.
200 million is too much. But did you guys hear about this? Kind of got revealed after the Warner Discovery investor call, but there was the team behind Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the art team, had pitched a Batman Beyond film and had concept art that they were developing and pulling together, and then Warner Brothers passed on it.
Oh my God. So stupid. If you had that art team and Paul Dini, shut up and take my money. I will see that thing 15 times in theaters.
Right? Oh man. So I don't know story-wise who they were trying to get, but I mean, you're spot on. Get Paul Dini, get that art team, bring them in. I mean, my God, this is like they're like the art team right now for animated stuff. Just
and everything that they do, like it's Neo Gotham. Everything in Spider-Verse, all that stuff, it fits Neo Gotham so well. That would be amazing. I would love that. And Batman Beyond Return of the Joker is one of the best things Warner Brother ever produced in that animated universe. There's so much great stuff in that movie. And like I said, if you got Paul Dini and you had him work with this art team, that's a slam dunk. No wonder they didn't do it. I kind of wish I just wouldn't have known about this. And I wish, because it was the art team that came out and said, hey, like we actually pitched a Batman Beyond film and they didn't want it. So here's our concept art. And I think they have like 4 different images that they put out. And it looks so freaking good. No details on story, nothing like that, but just the look of it. And people have been wanting Batman Beyond for a while now. Like we were even asking the moment it was announced that Michael Keaton was coming back. This is going back to like 2019, I believe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People were saying we need him as Bruce Wayne in a Batman Beyond film. Please do it. It's not happening, folks. And this was going to be an animated film, but I'm sad, and it makes me wonder. Warner, what are you doing?
What's Fred Dryer doing these days? Remember Hunter? You can watch that for free on Tubi. Old episodes on
right after Airwolf.
Yeah. So, but get Fred Dryer. He'd make a good old Batman. I don't know what he looks like now. I was gonna say Peter Weller because I thought he was really good as Bruce in The Dark Knight Returns. And by the way, Michael Emerson I think was just absolutely sublime as the Joker. I love that delivery of the where he says Batman says how many people are dead because I never did what I should have done, and Joker goes and Michael Emerson with that that voice of his that unctuous kind of satiny sleazy voice goes, I never kept count, and then Batman goes, I did, and he goes, I know you did, and I love you for it, and you're just like, oh, it's so perfect for that particular version of the Joker. But I do want to say Adam said he bets that he could have a whole conversation with me and nothing but Simpsons quotes. I would say that is a perfectly cromulent bet that you have made, and we could even bring Joe Corallo in on that.
Oh yeah, Joe for sure. Don't bring me in on it because.
So I have a Batman Beyond question for you guys. I've been very curious to ask you guys this. I have to ask this for everyone. What do you think about the twist we got Justice League Unlimited, where they showed the future episode where we find out Terry was actually, well, spoiler alert, that Terry was actually part DNA of Bruce, that it wasn't actually his parent. Hate it?
Yeah, did not like it. Maybe I would have liked it more if it wasn't just kind of crammed in there at the end as kind of like a season finale for Batman Beyond. Like maybe if it would have had its own season to kind of play out, I would have liked it more. But did not care for it because I don't like when connections are made that don't necessarily need to be there. For example, one thing I'm really loving about the G.I. Joe that we're getting right now from Skybound is that not everything is connected together. Like not every character knows each other already. When Stalker and Rock and Roll show up, they've never met Duke before. As opposed to, say, the Rise of Cobra movie where they were like, well, how do we connect all this stuff? Well, let's say Cobra Commander and Baroness were brother and sister, and they both served, and the brother served with Duke, and she was dating Duke, and now, it's like, you don't need all those connections. It doesn't make the story better. Sometimes people just meet along the way, and it's fine. Like, there's 3 people on the panel right now. We had no prior connection before we met. It's fine. It still works.
Yeah, in general, and this is a thing that's been going on in comics for a while now, there's this whole thing about making the villains somehow connected to Bruce, and I hate it because it just makes the world feel smaller. Like I just not everyone it's like
when the Marvel films. Yeah, it's like when the Marvel films made all the villains like as a result of Tony Stark. Something that he did.
Yeah, not a fan.
Yeah, even Mysterio. It's just like, come on.
Yeah, was not a fan of that.
It also kind of makes Tony look worse because it's like you created so many of these. Like if you would have just left well enough alone, you never would have created all of these horrible villains.
Oh yeah. Kind of backtracking a little bit, but Copa discussing West Side Story. I like Hot Boy Stance fighting, and I believe that was actually a line that he had to say in the review.
So speaking of Saturday Night Live, we probably Saturday Night Live earlier. There was a great skit. Aaron, you probably remember it. Is when
Norm Macdonald, right?
Yes, Cobras, Snake Panthers. Yes. Oh my god.
Well,
why are we dance fighting? What's going on here?
When I watched West Side Story for the first time, I was like, I thought you could just get jumped into a street gang. I didn't realize you had to have like 6 years of jazz tap on your resume when you submitted it for the gang.
And I'm pulling some comments, but we got some.
I know I'm looking at comments too. Like I glanced over and then got caught up.
JD Petty is heading out. Good night, sir. Thank you for popping in. I appreciate it. Come check the replay.
Is that branding, Josh? You're like, thank you for popping in.
Thank you for popping in. No, it was unintentional branding, but I'm gonna say it was intentional.
That's how good you are. It's unintentional branding.
That's how good I am.
You are committed to the bit with the very fiber of your being.
Every fiber. Adam Frey, live action Batman Beyond. Cole Sprouse is Terry and Clint Eastwood is Bruce. Okay.
Only if Cole Sprouse is asexual like Jughead and in love with sandwiches.
Who's Cole?
It's
Who's Cole
it's
Sprouse? I
modern
don't-
day, Josh. Make the movie that modern audiences want to see.
So Cole Sprouse, is that the one that was in Riverdale?
Yeah, he was
It was-
Jughead.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. And then he was on the Zach and Cody's Sweet Life or whatever it was from the
I
Disney
mean,
Channel.
that one you got me on.
That's where he got us. Oh wait, he was one of the he was the kid in Big Daddy, right?
Was he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Frankenstein?
Yeah, it was the twins, and they used both of them for filming.
Oh shit,
Wait,
that was him.
So what happened?
Wow.
What happened to the other twin? Why is Cole Sprouse only getting work? Where's the other Sprouse?
Who knows?
Dylan Sprouse?
Dylan Sprouse.
Oh,
That's right.
Okay,
what the
Yeah.
hell?
where is he? Did he
I
get?
don't know.
Did Cole
He's-
reabsorb his twin? But like outside of the womb?
They're like they're
He's got,
they never
he's
really
got
were
Dylan
two
on
of
his
it.
stomach. He can't do shirtless scenes because he's got Dylan on his stomach like Quato.
Well, he was doing he's been acting since then too. He's been doing his own My Fake Boyfriend, Tiger. What the hell is all this shit? I have no clue what it is, but he's been
Are
doing
any of them
stuff.
related to comic artist Chris Sprouse, who did a run on Legion of Superheroes?
I am not seeing Chris Sprouse brought up. That is unfortunate.
I'm just trying to bring Joe back into the chat. It's like Legion
back,
of
Joe, come
Superheroes.
back.
I've got some things to say.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Cole Sprouse fan, so sorry if that gets me canceled. But I don't dislike him. He does nothing for me at all.
Well, maybe you just need to get to know him better.
Maybe. Yeah. Beard of Liberty, I'm of the opinion that I do not want any of modern Hollywood making or remaking anything from any story or IP that I love from my past. Fair.
Absolutely fair. More than fair, I'd say.
At this
Yeah,
point,
it-
absolutely.
Yeah. And then Jana, like the streamer, I'll make Josh talk about Folsom. Scary. Look, these
Folsom
guys
Prison?
can know Folsom Street Fair.
Okay.
Jana and Copa understand my pain because they lived in West Hollywood at one point in time, and they got to see the debauchery firsthand. Whenever they looked out their window.
Oh, is that where
Especially
is that where the fisting video came from? That you
that's
put
where
on
the
Twitter?
fisting video came from. Yeah.
Yeah, people just fisting in the streets.
Jesus
the one where I was,
Christ.
yeah, he's like laying on a sidewalk.
No, he had nothing to do with it. As it turns out, Drew, he was frowning just like the rest of us.
Oh yeah, just like all of us. But I
Oh my
censored the picture of that because it was I opened up Twitter and it was in my feed and people were like, "Well, who are you following?" It was like it came from a fucking Buffy channel. Whatever. That was the first place that I saw it from, and yeah. Anyways, I censored the video, the picture, and then I shared it out and discussed my distaste for the gays and all this. And then Wes was so mad that he blocked me temporarily. So he muted my channel so he could, or my page so he couldn't see anything I posted. But yeah,
Josh McDonald hates gays, and he's
No,
gay, and he hates irony.
I literally started that off with "This is why I hate the gay."
I remember.
Oh man. We do have LK coming in with City of Bruce Begins. And the best is Copa, who's completely out of the loop because he's not on the aficionado Joe Corallo Perch side of things. City of Bruce sounds like a West Side Story sequel. I'm in. Oh man. Yeah, no.
Joe did hear my call of Legion of Superheroes and has returned to the chat, and I love him for it.
Uh-oh. He heard. He's here. He's back.
No, guys, if you look, for those in the chat who are not familiar with Joe, Joe has this like brilliant, sort of dry sense of humor that he like his delivery is really dry, but like there's very few people who can get me to legitimately crack up, and Joe is one of them. So conversations with him are always amazing, and he's just got such a wealth of knowledge of the comic industry. He knows stuff that I forgot long ago, or stuff that I just never knew, and he'll come out with like these obscure things that will just absolutely blow your mind, and you're like, I gotta go check that out. So
he does it quickly. He does it so fast. It's ridiculous.
Oh no,
Yeah,
he's
just
like
there, like he's just ready to fire.
Mhm.
And it's not even comics. It can be Joe's not human. Okay, that's what it is. Joe, are you an alien? We need to know.
No, Joe just has fast twitch synapses.
Yeah. I'll put it this way. There's a reason I go to Joe when I need comics info. And he is a walking encyclopedia. So excited to get back into doing streams with him. Also with Breen, who's also a wealth of knowledge.
Can we start calling Breen the Breen that wouldn't die?
The Breen that wouldn't die. Yeah.
Well, we can do like a sci-fi poster of him and oh, that'd be amazing.
He tends to pop in at the end of our stream. So when he does, we'll
once we start talking about something, once there's something that can be taken out of context and sound super sexual, that's when Breen pops in.
That is when Breen pops in.
Like Breen will come in
fails.
He'll come in just as somebody saying, "So I said to the Monsignor, hey, that's my anus," and then Breen was like, "What?" Breen, trust me, there's context for it, and he's like, I don't know.
Of course, I came in when you're talking about anuses. Yeah. All right, next topic. Harry Potter. Look, and I know you guys aren't the biggest fans of this. Or fans at all, but
I'm a big fan of J.K. Rowling's Twitter.
There you go.
Fair. Yes.
So one of the things that came out of the earnings call was that for this new series for HBO, or I guess Max, each book is going to be its own season. And for me, I'm kind of like, I don't know how this is going to work, because we're in a situation where, as someone who's read the books and saw the films, the first two films were almost like full adaptations of the book. I mean, you had very minor changes, but a lot of what's in the book are in the films. And they're what, 2.5 hours?
Mm-hmm.
But then you get to the later books, which are 3 times as long, 4 times as long. I don't know. I don't see how this is gonna correlate well, because I feel like they're gonna be like, here's 8 episodes of this book. And I just feel like we're in the whole point of this is to do the show so that you can capture everything from the books that you couldn't capture in the movies.
You don't think they can adjust you don't think they'll adjust the episode count on the seasons though? Like if it's really successful and you're getting to the later, longer books, they'll be like, hey, we greenlit 13 or 15 episodes instead of 8, because we need that much more room and it's going to make money anyway.
I mean, maybe. I hope so. I'm not so confident it's gonna make money, but
that's the thing. It's like, go ahead, Drew.
Sorry, go ahead. I was just gonna, it'll give us more time to explore the sexuality of the kids, to see who they're really into. That's what's important. That's what's.
I want to know who the portraits are banging. That's what I want to know. That's what's always been on my mind. The portraits in the school. What are their lives like?
I do feel like I remember that there was some talk about like certain portraits always being with other portraits, like the people in the paintings being found in other. Okay. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. Okay. See, Bearded Libby right here. This is my point. Book 1 and 2 are going to get the Hobbit movie treatment, where it's just so stretched out and padded that it's going to be so freaking boring.
Why is Legolas in this?
Gandalf went to Hogwarts? Wow.
That's right. He was the hall monitor. He was the hall monitor. You shall not pass.
Doctor Strange showed up. What's going on here?
Yeah, it's all. This is not what this is freaking awesome.
This is Warner Brothers, Drew. It would be Dr. Fate. Synergy.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Dr. Fate. Damn it. Yeah.
God, you can call yourself a fan. What's wrong with you? Yeah, I don't know. Like I was excited for this because I am a Potter fan. Because I really thought we get to. I think a lot of the supporting characters are some of the best aspects. I think there were a lot of subplots from the books that just kind of completely get brushed over or referenced. And they're really good, intriguing stories. The other thing that I don't know that they're going to do, that I hope they do, is the books got increasingly dark to the point that when the 4th book ended, I remember thinking I would not let my kids read this. It's way too dark. And you never even remotely got that in the films.
Is that where the ghost tries to look at Harry's wiener?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's in the second. Well, actually, yeah, that is in the 4th book because it's Goblet of Fire. Because he's in the bath. Yeah, you're right. It is in the 4th book. I was thinking Moaning Myrtle, and a name like Moaning Myrtle.
Yeah, well, you know what she's looking for.
Yeah, I think
you think we're not going to get a sex scene on HBO Max involving that? Come on.
Oh no, we're gonna get Dolores Umbridge raped by the centaurs right there on the screen. We're gonna get all of it. We're gonna find out she didn't really resist. You know, it was all consensual.
Yeah, well, Dolores Umbridge, it wouldn't surprise me. The other problem that I think this movie or the series is going to have is everyone's going to compare the actors to the original actors, and man, is that a tall order. Like the original,
that's gonna be tough for those actors. Yeah, that get
oh
cast.
yeah,
That's gonna be really tough.
yep. You just between Harry, Ron, and Hermione, yes, but Dumbledore, because I thought Michael Gambon was actually a great Dumbledore. Snape,
Hell, Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman,
Every
yeah.
matchup to Alan
Oh
Rickman.
yeah, Alan Rickman. Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
Now, bold comment. I think anyone that steps up to the table is gonna do better than Ray Fiennes did as Voldemort. I hated his Voldemort. He was so faint and prissy.
That's fair. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about a villain that was so underwhelming that they talked, like you said, the term Voldemorting. They talk about this, don't really say his name and talk about how bad he is, how evil he is. And it's like, no, you don't really see that at all. I remember being so disappointed and pissed off in the latter films when they would always talk about, oh my God, he just took out this town. Oh my God, he just took out this house. I'm like, that's great. I want to see that shit. I want to see him blowing up heads. I want to see him like, where the fuck is this Harry Potter kid? I'm going to blow your fucking head off. Where is he? I want to see this. And no, we're told that we don't see it.
It's this Harry Potter kid. Oh man. Yeah. I mean, yeah, there was a lot of just like honestly torture that was in the books that they didn't have in the movies.
I want to see that. That's what I want to see. Shit.
And the High Council may well subject you to torture.
I will say Helena Bonham Carter as Bellatrix Lestrange. I don't know if you could actually get a more perfect casting than that, probably because she's just batshit crazy in real life. But the fact that we didn't get a lot of her backstory shown, I feel like I'm robbed.
Well, maybe they'll bring her back. You know, they'll just bring some people back, and some people
I mean,
I'm calling it right now. Calling it right now. Nick Cage as Voldemort.
Oh, I'm there. I'm there. I'm watching it.
I don't know if I'm there.
Really?
Oh, you'd be there.
Come on. Come on.
I mean, I like Nick Cage, but I want Voldemort to be done right. Now, this is where I would put Michael Fassbender in the role. Like, go be evil. But, Any other thoughts? I think I'm the only one.
I have no attachment to Harry Potter at all. So, like, I'll probably watch this. I've never watched the films. I've just seen little bits and pieces of them here and there when flipping channels.
Yeah.
So I'll probably check this out, depending, unless you get all the same modern audiences bullcrap that you get where, we're leading into it and it's like you're getting those articles about how much more representation there is in this Harry Potter and and the swaps and the,
yeah.
And the sensitivity. I mean, J.K. Rowling is involved, so like I don't think you're going to get a lot of changes from the book. You might get some race swaps. You might get some, some stuff here and there. You might get more of Dumbledore's relationship with whoever that might be present in the series, but I don't think they're going to stray too far from the books because I think she's going to try and hold on to it, or she may just go, I don't, whatever. Money is money. Bring me all the money, because that seems to be. People are like, you're a transphobe, and she's like, look at my bank account.
Well, I mean, go ahead.
Sorry. I was just saying she's going to do the John Carpenter routine. She just puts out her hand and a check falls in the hand.
Yeah.
I mean, she's still holding firm in her beliefs, though. There was already a Variety tweet, I think, within the past day or two, because of oh gosh, I guess there was a crime committed by someone that was trans, and they classified her as a woman, and JK was like, nope, not a woman. Let's not, nope. And Variety is running with it. So
I saw someone say that, oh, it's because of you, and your hatred that trans people are being forced into sex work. And I was like, I thought you guys have been gaslighting us that sex work is positive. Now it's bad because you want to own J.K. Rowling. Like, I'm just saying, pick a lane. Like, first of all, nobody cares. Nobody cares about any of this. Nobody gives a shit. Hogwarts Legacy proved that. You guys tried to organize it was an overstep. If I was like the PR person for the trans community online, I would have said, don't take this on. Just let this go. Don't talk about this. Let it go, because it's going to expose the fact that you have no actual buying or boycott power. And that's exactly what happened. It's like you're too small a group to pull this off. Harry Potter is too big of a juggernaut of an IP. It's gonna make money. It's gonna make a ton of money, and it was the #1 game of the year. So
it was. I need to buy that game and play it. But it was by far the #1 game of the year, and that's where it makes me think maybe this could do really well. But then I look at Fantastic Beasts and how it did not do well at all, and I don't know if the Johnny Depp, what's his name, Flash,
Ezra Miller.
Yep. I don't know if that
I saw the first Fantastic Beasts. I actually watched that on cable, and I didn't like it. And largely, what I didn't like about it was Ezra Miller's stupid face. I was like, I hate that actor's face so much. Why is he in this? Why do they keep focusing on him? And so I never went back and watched any of the others. And especially after all the scandals broke, I was like, I'm not watching this. Yeah. Although I did watch The Flash on cable because I had heard so much of the high hilarity of it that I had to witness it for myself.
Let it go. Burn it.
It's worse than Madam Web.
Yeah, worse, yes, but not as it's not as enjoyable as Madam Web. Madam Web is enjoyably bad.
Yeah. I mean, we can laugh about Madam Web.
Yes,
Flash. We were just
Flash made me angry.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Adam wants to know, what about the prequel with how Hagrid's parents met? And so Drew, do you know what this is referring to?
No, not a clue.
So Hagrid is half giant. So I can't remember who.
Okay.
Either his mom or his dad was a giant, and the other was a normal human being. But the
if
size
dad was the giant, I guess they used some sort of lubricant.
They had to have. But the giants are big enough that like a real giant can hold people in their hand. So
okay, so maybe the dad was a giant, but he had a micropene. So it was just regular size.
I think I saw some Robert Crumb comics involving this shit at some point. So
yeah,
that's like sex with Shaq.
At least we'll get a proper looking Hermione. So that is one of the things that they're saying, was that they want a girl with more of a textured, frizzy hair, which everyone is now going, oh, you're hiring a black person, which is not necessarily what they're doing. But Hermione's supposed to have a very textured, frizzy hair, which you can have and still not be black. But
no, I mean, you could be Irish, you could be, I mean, even if they I don't know, even if they went with somebody who was like what's her name from the Batman, Zoe
Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz.
Oh
yeah. Even though I didn't particularly enjoy her in that role, she's light skinned, and with the haircut and the shape of her face and everything, she looked like a lot of drawings of Selena Kyle. And Catwoman has, in certain interpretations, particularly in the 60s show, there were 2 black actresses that played her, right? Is it 2 or is it just
one black? One black, but
just,
we're right, just Eartha Kitt and then Lee Merriweather and Julie Newmar. Okay, that's what I'm thinking of. I'm confusing myself because, as we established, we're a bunch of grandpas on here. But but there was precedent for that. So like, if you had somebody who was maybe light skinned and had like frizzy hair, but it still looked, is her hair described as like reddish in the book, or is it just never really addressed?
No, it's brown. It's described as brown. It's just very I did put a lot of emphasis on frizzy and textured. But I feel like
because she's supposed to be kind of like, she's supposed to, her hair is supposed to be kind of wild, right? Because she's kind of like it's the Miss Frizz from that school bus show.
Mrs. Frizzle, but brown.
Yeah, Mrs. Frizzle,
yeah. Indeed. Bearded Liberty says, I'm not a Potter fan, but overall I think this is better format than the movies. I agree with you. However, keeping these seasons divided by book is an unneeded limiting factor. And I agree with you again. Look at this Bearded Liberty guy coming in with the good stuff. Oh, no. Okay, now I have to disagree with you. Nick Cage could nail that awkward Voldemort laugh, though. I don't want Voldemort to be awkward. Like, I want him to be terrifying.
I want a full Nick Cage Kiss of the Vampire experience with him as Voldemort. That's what I want.
How about Christopher Walken as Voldemort? You think Christopher Walken can't be terrifying? Come on.
I know he can be terrifying. Yeah. I wish I could do a good Christopher Walken just impersonation.
Would that night on the boat.
and start saying some Voldemort lines. Look, if anyone can do a good Christopher Walken impersonation, you've got to just start saying Voldemort lines.
Give me a Voldemort line. I don't know any Voldemort lines.
I mean, just do his famous one, Harry Potter, the boy who lived.
Harry Potter, the boy who lived.
But then we have to hire people to pull what his son Chip did in Batman Returns, where they come in and try to have the same accent. We've got to create continuity, man. Oh, me,
Dad. yeah, Chip going, Dad. Andrew Bryer-Insky.
Yeah,
played Zangief in the Street Fighter movie with Raul Julia.
Yeah, and he's in the great football movie called The Program with James Caan.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Can we get Andrew Bryer-Insky on the show? I bet we could. What's he doing?
I don't know who that is. What are they doing?
He actually, fun fact, he did a Lobo short. He played Lobo in a little short on YouTube at some point.
Did he? Oh, good for him, man.
Yeah.
I'll have to find that. I'm curious now.
LK says, holy cow, a Miami Vice episode with Liam Neeson and the principal from the Breakfast Club. Yeah, sadly, the principal from the Breakfast Club passed on 1 or 2 years ago. Or the teacher.
Yeah,
and the guy that was.
And it's amazing the amount of guest stars who are on Miami Vice. If you look at that list who through the seasons, it is ridiculous just who showed up on that show.
But oddly enough, the only song they ever had on the soundtrack was "Smuggler's Blues" by Glenn Frey.
Who was on one of the episodes. He was a guest star.
Like, this is the only song that fits. Let's play Smuggler's Blues again.
We're gonna ignore the fact that I cannot spell on the slide.
Oh, Discovery. I love Warner Discovery.
So
guys, join our Discovery.
Join our Discovery. Hey Paramount, it's me, Warner Discovery. We might buy you. Okay.
This is like when Kmart bought Sears. And it was like, Kmart, you're in chapter 11. How are you buying another company? You're broke.
Okay, so this is exactly where I'm going with this. Paramount is up for sale and it's taking bids and offers, and Warner Discovery was looking into them, and there was a lot of speculation they were going to do a merger. There was different reports about it, and ultimately Warner Discovery passed. They said no and moved on. And I will say, it seems like the reason they passed and moved on was because Comcast, NBC Universal said, I wouldn't do that if I were you. And we all know that they're preparing to buy Warner. So anyways, a broke company was looking at a broke company and said no and went on. But speaking of broke company,
Paramount Plus is better use of your streaming money than Disney Plus. So if you have Disney Plus, cancel it right now and go get Paramount Plus instead and watch that. Watch the show Evil. It's a lot of fun. It's got some major plot holes here and there, but it's a lot of fun.
It's fun. We can take it. Warner Brother Discoveries, their stock price has fallen to like $8 a share.
What?
Yeah. Yep.
8, not 80, not 88.
No, it's like $8. $8.
What the hell,
guys? If we pooled our money, we might be able to buy DC away from them.
Ooh,
possibly. Possibly. Yeah, they when they did the merger, when Warner and Discovery had their merger, their stock price was around 25, and it has since fallen all the way down to $8, and it looks like it's still just in a steady decline. And then for perspective, Disney, who has not had, the best couple of years, and their stock has also been falling, their stock price is around $110 a share right now.
Which is way over.
Oh, so it went up. I thought it went up
because 90. It went up because Bob Iger came out during the earnings call and blew a bunch of smoke up investors' asses, and they're too stupid to know that it's all smoke and mirrors. He's like, we're investing in video games with the Fortnite guys, and it's going to put a bunch of billions of dollars over there, and that's going to pay off for us. And it was kind of like if you watch the SNL skit where it was Obama explaining, like talking to the Chinese, being over in China and giving a speech, and the girl translating it, and they're talking about like, you owe us a lot of money, because he's talking about China and its human rights abuses, and then it goes over to the translator, and the prime minister's talking, and it's like, we understand how you can lecture us on on human rights, because after all, we do owe you a great deal of money. Oh no, wait. It's you who owes us a great deal of money. And then it goes, and then Obama's like, well, we just instituted our cars for our cash for clunkers policy, which we think will result in great savings. And then it goes back to the Chinese delegate, and they're like, just so you are aware, you are not allowed to pay your debt to us in clunkers.
I like clunkers,
I,
man.
I was thinking SNL, but I was thinking like do this, but do it with like John Lovett's liar character. Yeah, that's the ticket. We got Fortnite.
Yeah,
we're gonna do that.
Fortnite.
Yes.
Yeah. We're gonna invest money in the parks. Yeah, we're gonna we're retooling Marvel. There's weren't enough executives in the room with the brave director of color. Yeah, that's the ticket.
That is the ticket. Do you guys have a guess of what Paramount's shares are?
No idea.
So they're actually higher.
I'll say 20.
They're higher than Warner Brothers.
They're higher than
Wow.
Warner Brothers. They're
Wow.
a little over $11.
Oh,
Which is another reason of like, what is going on here?
How is Warner's affording to do a Superman film right now, or a whole DC Universe films? How the fuck $8 a share?
Yeah.
Jesus, I think IDW was higher than that at one point, probably. God damn.
I mean, IDW slipped down to the cents at one point, which is god awful. But
well, it's funny because they have no sense. So,
oh yeah, and then I will say, if you look all the way to the other end of the spectrum, you have Netflix. Do you guys know where Netflix is?
I know that once they cracked down on password sharing, they shot up.
Drew, do you have a guess?
I'll say
$80 a share.
Netflix shares are over $600 a share.
Whoa!
What the hell?
That's way too high because they are swimming in debt.
Agreed. I don't know. It's a weird world we live in. But yeah, crazy.
Like the stock price seems to illustrate nothing except consumer confidence. So as long as you are blindly confident, your stock will go up.
Oh yeah. So as we were saying, anuses, because Eric Breen's here, we had to change conversation now that he's here. We had to go to something weird and sexual.
The man with two breens.
The man with two breens, Eric Breen. Hello, Eric. Welcome to the chat. Good to see you here. Yeah. So Warner, just really interesting, weird stuff going on. And again, kind of going back to that very first topic. Joker 2, $200 million production budget.
Deficit spending is great.
I can't.
And we don't even know we don't know the Superman production budget, right? We don't know how big that is. Do we?
No, we don't. We don't. Not yet. No. I mean, it's got to be massive, just based on the amount of people they have in there. Because they're signing multi-deal contracts, which also makes no sense to me, especially if you're going to sell. I mean, it's like 90% positive that Comcast, NBC, Universal is going to purchase Warner. I don't know. I don't know why you would do such a long-term deal unless Universal's like, yeah, do it, we're on board. I just don't know.
By the way, once they purchase Warner Brothers, how much better are the Universal parks going to get? Like, they're looking to kill Disney on their parks.
And that is actually a large factor of why they're looking into Warner. Is they want those brands to bring over to be able to do stuff with. Now, what I don't know is what happens to the Six Flags parks at that point.
They had DC
Looney
properties
Tunes and DC stuff.
Well,
I imagine they keep it the way that Universal has kept Islands of Adventure in Florida. They've got like the comic version and east of the Mississippi or whatever it is that the contract requires for. As long as they never miss a payment, they get to keep all that stuff. But now you get to put DC in there as well. That's crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
All the Looney Tunes characters. What happens to poor Knott's Berry Farm with Camp Snoopy?
True. Poor Camp Snoopy.
Nobody goes to Knott's Berry Farm.
No.
I mean, unless they want tetanus.
What is it? Knott's Berry Kitchen or what's the restaurant that's there?
Oh, Knott's Kitchen.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then
they have
what
good.
is it?
They have good.
Oh, boysenberry? Is that their?
Yeah,
Isn't that their?
the Knott family invented the boysenberry.
Hmm. I mean, I'm down. I went for the food. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, Josh, come out. We'll go to Knott's. We'll go eat at Knott's.
Heck
I
yeah.
won't go on any of the rides with you.
No, it's okay. I'm too old for the rides.
Oh, those
I
rides
feel
are
like we
painful.
discussed this. We've reached that age where rides hurt.
Rides hurt, and then when you're on Space Mountain, you're like, I can't see anything.
Speaking of hurting, Gladiator 2.
Wait, is he in Gladiator 2?
Yes.
I thought it was.
Oh.
I thought it was Denzel playing him.
You thought it was Denzel playing
thought it
Pedro
was-
Pascal? That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's Denzel in Gladiator 2.
That's what I thought. Oh no, it's Hannibal. It's the Hannibal film I'm thinking of. Never mind. It's
Okay.
He's playing Hannibal.
Yeah, this has Pedro. It's got shit. God, we really are in grandpa mode tonight. The dude from Saltburn that's playing Joker in the Batman.
I didn't see
Oh.
Saltburn.
What's Saltburn?
It's Drew, you need to watch Saltburn. It's great. So good. Ask the chat about Saltburn, they'll tell you. He was in Eternals. He played
Droog?
Yes.
I was just picking somebody who like
Yeah.
who's got a face that looks like they'd be in Saltburn, and I was like, oh yeah, the Druid guy.
It's got Pedro, you got Barry Keoghan. It's got a I don't know. Anyways,
I cannot wait for this to fail spectacularly and just prove that Pedro is not a movie star. Just before Fantastic Four comes out. Just fall flat on your face, Gladiator 2.
So a report came out that no one's like managing this project. No one's kind of like reining in Ridley Scott. And their production budget has ballooned to $310 billion.
Oh my
Whoa.
god.
Wow. These studios are drunk. These studios are drunk. I don't understand it. I don't get
300
it.
million, betting 300 million on Pedro Pascal. Oh, that's incredible.
Wow.
I'm
I
just
would have
like-
thought because Ridley's doing it, right? Ridley's still doing Gladiator 2.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would have thought.
Let's be
studios
honest,
learned after.
Yeah,
I would have
I know
thought
where you're going.
after his 2 Alien films barely broke even, if they're lucky, they would have been like, you know what? Maybe Ridley doesn't have it anymore. Maybe he shouldn't go back to his franchises he did.
I hope this movie answers the question of what was the deal with that black goo.
Oh, ooh, maybe that does come up in this. Now, if that glue does show up in this, I'm there. I'll say that. I
It's all
gotta see how this
connected.
ties in.
It's all connected.
It's all connected. I legitimately I need to reach out to one of my friends. So my old neighbor, Thad, who actually lives here in Texas. He's from Texas and is back in Texas. He worked for Ridley Scott for 6 years, 7 years.
No
And
shit.
I genuinely want to ask if he had heard any rumblings back then about Gladiator 2, what the plan may have been. I don't know. But apparently, like, no, you typically have, people from the studio that kind of handle films as far as like, managing it, I guess, to make sure the creatives are staying in line and meeting budget. And apparently no one's been doing this with Gladiator. And these people usually don't care about the story. They don't care if it's a good movie. They're more like, you're using our money. Don't use more than we told you can use. But no one's just been doing that with this. And it has just gone like balls to the wall, ape shit crazy in the amount of money they're spending. If it wasn't already dead on arrival, it is especially dead on arrival now. Like there's no way.
At this point, you would have a better chance of making money by greenlighting a film by Tony Scott than Ridley Scott. This is just unbelievable that they've poured this much money.
Oh no!
But it's so right. It's so wrong,
That's
but it's so
bad.
right at the same time.
I mean,
At least
yeah.
you know he wouldn't spend 300 million.
That's
I'm
true.
just-
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the point where they're like, oh, let's see if we can turn to Russell Crowe or Joaquin Phoenix and get them back. And they're like, Joaquin died. He's like, oh, Russell Crowe died. Oh, well, let's try anyways.
I
I don't
can't
know.
wait. I can't wait to see the double feature at the Dollar Theater of this and Twisters 2 together for $1.
It's not Twisters 2, it's just Twisters, Aaron.
Oh, okay.
I'm
I thought it
gonna
was.
be there with a smile on my face. I'm gonna
I
be
am
enjoying
too.
the shit out of
I'm
that.
gonna be like watching it.
I will not pay for it, but I will watch it.
I mean, we can sneak you into a movie theater. It's fine.
No, I'll pay for a movie that I actually care about, and then go sit in this one.
Fair.
Theater makes its money. That's all I care about. I don't care about the studios making their money anymore. They keep giving us absolute dreck. So like I'm concerned about the theaters. I'm concerned about the theater business. So I will go, okay, what's the movie that I most like that's on the current slate? I'll give my money to that movie and then sit in on this.
Yeah. I'm down. Eric wants to know if I like Gladiator movies. I'm not opposed to Gladiator movies. I don't
You ever
out.
hang around a gymnasium?
The gymnasium?
You ever see the grown man?
It's another one of the questions that he had. That's what he's doing. Do you like Gladiator movies? It's the bit from Airplane.
Oh,
You ever been in a Turkish prison?
Josh, do we need to make you watch Airplane again? You've seen Airplane, right?
Apparently, I have seen Airplane.
Okay, you need to see it again.
I will admit, it's been a hot minute.
I want you to learn to speak jive.
Speak jive. Oh my god, I feel like I'm such a hot mess tonight.
That mustache. That was
a transition, wasn't it?
I know.
Doesn't he look like he's about to challenge you to a balloon race around the world?
Oh my god, yes, he does.
I feel like I'm watching a telenovela, just like a Mexican soap opera right now with that fake mustache.
Well,
my friend Marie,
job too.
My friend Marie would say, "Oh, gross! He looks like he's been chewing bees."
He had a substantial change to his look within a very small amount of time. Like even the shape of his face, I don't know.
There's plastic surgery, right? He went and got a bunch of plastic surgery, and it did not turn out well.
But
it can't just be the pervert mustache and the pervert dye job.
Yeah, there's something else there. It looks really bad. I mean, I'm sure he's also stopped working out, which I'm sure is a lot of it too. Like he stopped taking steroids, he stopped working out, and then this is what you're left with.
Yeah, he looks smaller. His frame looks smaller significantly.
His frame looks smaller. His face looks bigger though. Like he's got, I don't know.
I think that's the ego.
Maybe
he looks like Pierce Patchett from LA Confidential.
After
a crack binge on the Sun.
That's a deep pull. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Whatever you desire.
Aaron, I will say you sadly were not with us when we did the stream. Really going through the details
right after it broke. Yeah.
And it was so much fun. And Drew and I just kept saying like, God, why isn't Aaron here? So since we didn't get your take, I would love to kind of get your just general take on this real quick, and then we'll kind of talk about some additional stuff that's come out.
Okay, I'm a big wrestling fan. I've been a wrestling fan since I was a kid. I've gone away from it. I've gone back. I've enjoyed various eras of it. I have no it's like I have a lot of great memories associated with wrestling. I think that Vince McMahon has just obviously he transformed the wrestling business and made it worldwide, took it out of the territories and made it what it is today. That said, this monster belongs in jail, and I hope he dies in jail because this guy is a piece of shit. I don't know when it started happening. I don't know if it's always been that way. Like we said, we talked about the fact that he got, he allegedly got Jimmy Snuka off of a murder rap when Jimmy Snuka murdered his girlfriend in a hotel room back in the day. So, maybe he's always been garbage, or maybe just as he's gotten older and he's been rich for so long, he's just become more and more perverse to the point that even back in the day, he'd been accused of rape by one of the female referees, and they buried that under the rug. There's so many things over the years that he's gotten away with that he's been able to bury because of how much money he has and the fact that he's been able to buy people off. And this stupid old pervert finally screwed up by not paying out on one of the NDAs he had somebody sign. He only gave him $1 million and then stopped paying. And if you know his history, he has had a long history of breaking contracts like that, like deciding that somebody broke a contract with him and so he no longer needs to pay. He did that when he purchased territories. He never paid those people off in full. So this guy has been a sleazeball scumbag for decades, and it also turns out that he is a sex what is it, a sex pest, as they say in Britain. He is an absolute inhuman monster, and I hope that this not only results in him losing almost all of his fortune, but I hope that it results in him spending the rest of his life in jail and dying in there, and his legacy being forever tarnished and his name never being spoken again. Because the things in that complaint, the things in those text messages are so disgusting and so hideous, and you know that this is a guy who just wielded his power with with an iron fist. And I hope that he gets put away and that we never hear from him again.
I do agree with you, and with that said, I do kind of want to back up your comments. But before that, I want to know which WWE wrestling named dildo do you think was his favorite?
Well, it's the Big Show.
Oh man, yeah. When we were talking about this when I revealed this portion during our original stream, I was like, what was he doing with these? Was he like, Hulkamania's gonna run wild on you? Oh man,
I think he's probably a big fan of the Rowdy Roddy Penetrator. I think that the excellence of execution, which of course was pink, and I think that let's see what else. Ricky the Dangle Steamboat.
Ricky the Dangle Steamboat.
The Undertaker.
The Undertaker. Oh, there we go. Undertaker.
Definitely. Well done. Let's see.
And he's like, I call this one China.
And this one's just called the Nature Boy Ric Flair, who's got his own problems. This one helicopters, but only on planes.
This one, only on planes. If you know, you know. Yeah. So some stuff that's kind of come out since then, I will say is, I think it was back in 2022, 2023, FBI ended up doing a raid on Vince's house. We're still waiting to find out what all came from that. It was revealed that the raid was partially in context to these allegations. But one of the things that came out was from the text messages, they revealed that one of the wrestlers also involved with some of this bad behavior was a former UFC champion, and how sex with this Janelle girl.
Janelle Grant, yeah, the victim.
Yeah, Janelle Grant. Part of the deal to get this wrestler back was sex with her. So FBI have now raided Brock Lesnar's house.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh, I had not heard that.
So, yep. So he has had a raid on his house as well, I guess, to try to get whatever information they can get. Apparently, Sable's saying, "I'm done with you," which, I mean, who didn't see that coming? But there is now a former wrestler, Caitlyn, who has stepped forward, and she's pointing fingers at Triple H as being involved with some of this stuff as well. So, yeah. So I guess real quick, what do you think about Triple H's potential involvement? Did you see that coming? Are you shocked by it?
It's hard to say because I don't know what she's accusing Triple H of. And if it's like Triple H made me sign an NDA, I don't know what it's for. And NDAs, like everybody talks about NDAs like that's obviously an admission of guilt. But NDAs are a very standard thing in the entertainment business for a variety of reasons. So they're not all so and getting an NDA is not necessarily a sign that something prurient occurred. So I'll have to wait for more information to come out about that. But I mean, can I imagine like Triple H is married to Stephanie. Can I imagine Stephanie's involved with this sort of thing?
Oh, that's actually real. I thought it was part of the show. That's actually real.
Yeah, no, they're actually married.
Okay. Oh, I thought it was just for show. Okay, they're
they're actually married.
I guess we'll find out how far the rabbit hole goes. But I mean, Triple H is still appearing on television and he's still appearing at press conferences. So I'm sure that I'm sure that who are they owned by? TKO owns them, who also owns UFC. I'm sure that they've probably looked at what's there, looked at the NDAs, and if Triple H is still appearing on TV, if he hasn't been suspended or taken off television, he's still allowed to go out at press conferences and talk. I'm sure that their feeling is that Caitlyn's allegations are probably not anywhere near the level of Vince McMahon, and it's probably something fairly tame that can be managed. Right. I mean, that would be my guess.
I mean, to that point, I will say, let's not forget, Vince stepped down back in 2022 when these allegations first came about, and then TKO brought him back to kind of handle the merger. So,
yeah, I did hear, though. I was listening to I don't know, some attorneys and I think it was Stephen P. New, who is an attorney that represents Jim Cornette, and obviously Jim Cornette's had a lot to say on this, and I've listened to some of his stuff. I guess what happened was when TKO brought him back, they did not know that Vince had paid out, like it was something between him and the WWE attorney that had worked for him for a long time that they had done outside of TKO's knowledge. So it was like coming from him and the attorney, and didn't involve any of them. Like they didn't know about it until all of this, like this one with Janelle that I guess broke, was one of the things that they were like, wait a minute, what is this? And then once they, took 2 minutes to look into it, it was like, you did all this stuff on the sly. Okay. Oh, and now Slim Jim is pulling out of the Royal Rumble as an advertiser, and we're probably going to lose more on Monday. No, you're done. You're done. You're out. We don't care how much stock you have. You don't have a controlling interest. You're out.
Yeah. There was a Netflix executive because right before all this stuff came out recently, with the details anyways, WWE TKO had signed a deal with Netflix to have wrestling kind of come to Netflix, and there were some Netflix executives that were asked about this, and their comment was, he's gone, referring to Vince, like he's gone, who cares, he's gone. So it looks like they're not getting swayed any. But there are wrestlers coming forward because they've been asking a lot of wrestlers, which a lot of the people that are currently wrestling are gonna just say your political, toe the company line answer because they're trying to work. But two people have been pretty strong in their opinion, and one of those is Seth Rollins, who I think has enough weight to kind of throw around. But he's pretty much been like, if this is even remotely true, everyone involved needs to go. I don't care who they are. I don't care what they do. But he also gave a lot of insight in terms of, the wrestlers versus the office, and talking about how a lot of the wrestlers aren't in the offices. They're traveling, they're doing their thing. Every now and then, if they're in that area, they'll pop in the office for a meeting, but usually it's phone calls. And he was talking about how disconnected those two worlds are. And I guess he brought this up because a lot of people were saying, well, how could these people not know? How could the wrestlers not know? Yada, yada, yada. And that was his stance of just like, hey, we're doing our own thing. We're focusing on matches and getting stuff prepared and, trying to choreograph and learn whatever we want our routine to be for the show. And we're not there. That's like a separate, just completely separate world almost.
Yeah, they're on the road. They're hitting house shows in between the televised shows, so they're always traveling. And if they do have a couple of days off, they're trying to get home to spend time with their families. They're not going into the office and having Vince go, come on over here to the office here. We're gonna shit on some interns' heads. That's not happening. So I mean, I am shocked at the amount of people that Vince had involved in the office. So the idea that all the wrestlers would be involved seems ridiculous. But then again, I would have told you that having that many people in the office involved in his shenanigans was ridiculous. And what the hell were you thinking? Because you're never really surprised when you find out that like a CEO or a head of business or anybody who's powerful and rich, when you find out that they've done a bunch of really horrible shit, you're never really surprised because, when you are that rich and you're in that bubble and you have that much power over other people's lives, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And for decades upon decades, no one has been in the way to tell Vince McMahon no. Whatever he said goes. So I'm sure there's only the tip of the iceberg. I'm sure all kinds of things are going to come out, and when they get to Discovery, this is going to be just absolutely brutal. So wrestling will go on. The WWE will go on, and they'll weather it. There'll be stories, but as a brand, it's kind of separate from the man, and they'll distance themselves as much as they need to keep the wrestling industry healthy, and let this guy go down, as well he should. So I don't know. It's definitely crazy for like wrestling history because he involved himself so much in the product as a character. And their most successful era was the Attitude Era with him versus Stone Cold. And so, has Stone Cold said anything about it yet? Because I feel like that would be, that would be like one of the people who worked with him the most, at least on the entertainment side.
Yeah, I feel like Stone Cold's response was that kind of like, "Oh, this isn't the Vince that I knew, so it's shocking to hear these comments, but this isn't right, and people shouldn't endure this." It was pretty much along those lines, which a lot of your wrestlers have given. Like I think Undertaker's comments were pretty much the same thing. Undertaker had commented that he had never personally witnessed this type of stuff in locker rooms, so I mean, it is what it is.
Jim Cornette even said that, like, in reference to Bret Hart, Bret Hart was obviously shocked. He's obviously had major problems with Vince, and you'd think if there was anybody who was just going to go out and completely excoriate Vince, it would have been Bret. But Bret even said, like, I never saw this. This was, and I feel kind of disgusted that I ever respected this man with these things coming out. Obviously I had my problems with him, but I always thought there was kind of a mutual respect there on some level, and I've completely lost that. And even Jim Cornette said, like, if Vince he never saw this his time with the company. Maybe it wasn't going on then. Maybe it was just more under the radar. Maybe as Vince got older with concussions and getting older, and like it just became more open about it and less reserved. But maybe it was always there. But he even said, like, if Bret's one of those types that if Vince would have ever tried to bring this to him and be like, "You want to get in on this?" Bret would have knocked him out. Bret wouldn't have stuck for it. Because I think Bret actually is I think he took his character seriously because I think as a moral character, because I think he himself is a moral character. He is a moral man. So, there's obviously guys like Vince are just going to surround themselves with other creeps like John Laurinaitis. Maybe Kevin Dunn, who quit production like right before this story broke, and everybody was like, "Why is he leaving out of nowhere?" And now he's kind of possibly been implicated. So there's definitely like an office and production inner circle that Vince had around him that maybe he was sharing with. So we'll find out as time goes on.
Yeah. So Laurinaitis has lawyered up, and he's trying to pretty much attack Vince now, which is definitely like, oh, it's not my fault, it's his fault.
He made me do it. He made me have all these
literally
encounters.
What he's saying.
Yeah.
It's literally what he's saying.
Here's the thing. So he's claiming that, like, okay, so Vince made me have sex with Janelle Grant. But if you read Vince's text, they're like, John would like you on Thursday nights or whatever it is. He'd like to book Thursday nights with you, and et cetera, et cetera. And you would think that if Laurinaitis was just playing along because he felt pressured, when he and Janelle got together on Thursday nights, he'd be like, hey, we're not going to do anything. This is messed up. But let's just keep up appearances because we're both in a bad position. And her lawsuit doesn't seem to suggest that. So,
nope.
And all the things I've heard about old John Laurinaitis, Johnny Ace over the years, I absolutely believe that he was involved in this. And I think that's one of the reasons that Vince brought him back after him being fired years ago, was because it was someone that Vince could trust and have in this little perverse sex trafficking ring that he was organizing.
Seems to be that way. I've heard that, like you said, Dunn is most likely involved in this, and there have been reports now saying that someone who worked in the office that has not been there for years is also listed and named in some of these issues that have come up. So curious to see who that person ends up being, because it's separate than Dunn. But then the fact that Triple H has been involved in the offices for a while now does put some question marks and fingers towards him. Maybe not him being involved so much, but how much did he know and how much was done to try to prevent or stop this? And that kind of brings in the Stephanie of all this. There have been rumors for years about Stephanie, even at a young age, potentially being put in the way of wrestlers. I'll put it that way.
Yes, there's the old rumor about her and the Macho Man.
Mm. Yeah. And then there's been that from one of the storylines that popped up recently where she's like yelling at her dad and telling him all the stuff you made me do. I wasn't even 17 yet, and I'm just like, holy shit.
Well, what about the stuff that the stuff that she wouldn't do? Where when she got pregnant in real life, he was like, "Let's work that into the story," and it could. We'll do it so that it's like my baby. That'll be the storyline. She was like, "Gross, not doing that." And then he came back to her with, "Well, maybe it could be Shane's baby, her brother." Like that. Like how is that any less gross? You creepy old freak.
It's weird shit, and the family has all tried to separate themselves from Vince for a couple of years now, so I feel like that is also telling.
Yeah, Stephanie and Triple H both voted for, and Tony Khan, who's the president. Not Tony Khan, Nick Khan. Tony Khan's the incompetent that runs AEW, the silver spoon baby boy, daddy's special boy. Sorry, Breen, I'm ragging on AEW again. But even Nick Khan, all three of them voted against him coming back. After he had left, and he was able to force his way back. So, and then as soon as he came back, Stephanie was gone again. So,
she bounced.
I think that Stephanie, some stuff probably came to light. She was like, "Nope, I'm out." Vince was gone. They brought her back. She was like, "Okay, I'll run things." And then as soon as Vince was like, "I'm forcing my way back," she was like, "Okay, I'm out again."
Yeah,
and that was it. What's weird though is that she had to go out and do that "Thank you, Vince" chant on SmackDown.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of weird, there's a lot of things where storyline crosses real life, and you're like, what was that about?
Yeah, weird. So I might be wrong in remembering this, but I believe that for this young lady, the payoff amount was 2 million, 3 million, I think,
3
something
million,
like that.
and he only paid one.
He only paid one. And out of known payoff so far, Vince has paid. I think it was over 19 million to people to stop similar cases. So,
wow.
I just think it's a matter of time before even more details come out. And some of these people were paid more than this young lady to not continue their lawsuits or pursuit of a lawsuit.
And those texts are horrific, stomach churning stuff.
Right. And it makes you wonder.
We're joking about the dildos, and we're joking about the dildos and stuff like that, because at some point you have to kind of like joke about things like that, because otherwise, like your brain can't wrap around just how awful and perverse this is. But what was done to this, just reading those texts and the way that he talked to her and the things that he told her he wanted to do and that he was going to have done to her, and people are like, oh well, she was texting back. Obviously, she was fine with it. You guys don't understand how a power differential over a vulnerable person who had and reportedly she had just lost her parents. She didn't know, what she was going to do financially. And Vince came in as like the guy that was going to save her and was going to help. And then, that's what these predators do. They churn out weak and vulnerable people. And, she obviously developed some sort of Stockholm syndrome, I would say, in this situation, and didn't feel like she could escape. But man, when you read those texts, and if you've got a stomach that gets queasy easily, I would not recommend checking out the rest of this story, because just the stuff that was in the court document was absolutely horrific.
Oh yeah. It's crazy, and I think it was all the evidence that was submitted and the what was released publicly, it was like 70 something pages worth of content, and then we got brief snippets of what's in there. It's bad, and it goes back to what I said. It only makes you wonder, the people that got paid more, I mean, some of them were talent as opposed to people working in the office, so I can understand those people getting paid more. But when you step outside of that, what happened that these people were paid more, especially if it happened earlier, like a decade ago?
Yeah. And I want to know what happened to Ashley Massaro, who tragically took her own life, just the year before this all hit the fan, because there was a lot of stories coming out of that about her being raped, and then them trying to get her on the corporate plane with Vince and with Laurinaitis, and Lord only knows what happened there. So if they obviously there's a lot of sex trafficking going on, there's a lot of sexual abuse, but if they actually also contributed to the suicide of this young woman, I hope Vince burns. And I hope Laurinaitis burns. And I hope everybody involved gets burned to the ground.
Yep. Eric Breen, I have no problem with Vince never being referenced going forward, but I hope they don't overcorrect and erase him from the past. Yeah, I have a feeling that they're gonna try to do what they did to Chris Benoit, and the matches are there. I think I think you can still log in, and
Mhm.
if his match was there, it's there. You can watch it, but he's removed from all the listings, and he's not
He'll never be
referenced.
in a video game again. He'll never.
Yeah.
There's even a rumor that okay, so 2K24 is going to drop uh next month, I think. And
Hmm.
there's a rumor that they're going to block like Brock Lesnar's in the game. It's too late to remove him, but they
Yep.
can put a patch in that like blocks him from use, so you won't
Right.
be able to use him as a wrestler. Of course, hackers will find a way around that pretty easily,
Of course.
but
Yeah.
that's like all you can do is for the mainstream release is not have him in there.
Yep. And they've already started pulling him from marketing. So, because he was in a lot of their ads still that they would release, and
Yep.
it's all coming down, coming off.
Took him out of the
So,
signature at the beginning of the show. So this is why when
yep.
people are like, "Well, Brock Lesnar wasn't specifically named," well, if they're doing all this, I think they're pretty sure who it is.
Oh, absolutely.
So they removed him from the signature at the top of the show. I know that Mattel has been told to cut production on any action figures, and they just basically any that were already done that were going to be coming out in the near future. Those are just all going to landfills. They're getting scrapped. They're never going to hit shelves.
Wow.
So yeah,
Wow.
it's pretty much a full court press.
Yep. As LK says, "Hey kids, wrestling."
Say
Yeah.
your prayers and eat your vitamins.
Ugh. But yeah, we're gonna get more. It's gonna slowly trickle out, and then I think we'll have just a bombshell. But I do think it's been about a month since the news came out of all that, and I think people that do have details are probably luring up and working with them to come in with their own accusations and suits. We
You
do
know who
have
did win in this situation, though? You know who the big winner is in this situation?
fans.
Chris Jericho.
Oh yes.
Because Chris Jericho, people forgot about everything that was going on with him with sexual harassment and NDAs because it could not have dropped at a better time for him.
He was like, nobody's looking at me now.
Mhm.
Yeah. Final topic of tonight, and we'll kind of touch on this quickly, but about a month ago, we spent a lot of time discussing Ultimate Spider-Man #1. Is it going to save the comics industry? It's selling like gangbusters. Is it still selling like gangbusters a month later for the second issue? I can say my comic shop was sold out again on Wednesday. So by the time I went in there at probably 6 o'clock, they were already out. And there's issues going for like 50, $60 on eBay. So
Wait it out, guys. Those will drop.
right.
Yes,
So Drew, I know you've read this. Is it still looking like this is going to be the comic book industry savior, or at least help contribute to saving comics?
I don't know. I honestly I don't think so right now. Look, I'll say issue 2 is better than issue 1. You don't even have to read issue 1. You can just jump right into this and you're going to be fine. Don't even read issue 1. Issue 1 is fucking boring as hell. Just read this. You're gonna be you're gold. This one is it's really good. I mean, it had the unfortunate circumstance for me at least to come out the same week as Cobra Commander and G.I. Joe, which I felt were two significantly better issues than this issue. This was good. It's fine. It did fine. It did what it needs to do. But yeah, the issue I have is the Ultimate line itself, because I really don't think the other titles of the Ultimate line are going to help boost sales. I mean, they're gonna do fine. Look, I understand Peach Momoko is popular. I don't care for her art. I know she's got her fans. It's gonna do fine with a certain fan base. Ultimate Black Panther is okay at best. That first issue came out, it was something. But for right now, it's very questionable. It's on, I wouldn't say shaky ground, but it's clearly Ultimate Spider-Man is the best of the titles so far. But as of right now, it's good.
Well, Breen wants you to know that everyone knows how much he loves modern Marvel comics, and he really likes Ultimate Spider-Man.
I'd say I like it. I wouldn't say I love it. I'd say I like it. It's good, but to me, it's not as good as G.I. Joe or anything from the Energon line from Skybound. All of those titles are significantly better than anything from Ultimate Spider-Man 1 or 2.
Yeah, there's something about them that are just fun.
I'm convincing people who have never read G.I. Joe or Transformers and only have the most tangential knowledge about both properties, I'm encouraging them to pick those up, and they're picking them up and they're loving them. So, I think that they should be getting way more attention than Ultimate Spider-Man. This, the fact is, people love Spider-Man and people want a good Spider-Man book, and we haven't had one in a while. So they're really hopeful that this is going to be it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, even if this Ultimate line doesn't save comics like we're hoping, we still have Green Arrow coming up this week that's just going to knock it out of the park with its content.
I'm hoping independent comics save comics. That's what I'm hoping. I would like to see the big two diminish in importance and just become like as important as indie producers. I would like to see people reading more indie books. I'd like to see people doing more crowdfunding books. And I'd like to see a model where a lot of those crowdfunded books can eventually be mainstream comic book store books and sell in those venues and be profitable. So that's my ultimate hope, is that we can keep the industry alive long enough for the big two to not be the direction that the industry goes. If they're doing poorly, that's fine. There's still plenty of other things there to keep people interested.
I'd like to see another era. Yeah, I'd like to see like 1992 to happen again, where it's like where Image Comics came in and they became the #2 publisher. Overtook DC, and the industry was like, "What the fuck are we going to do now because of this?" We need a publisher to come in to really shake things up. And honestly, the Interjunk Skybound could be. They could potentially get there. They could. They're on the right track right now. They're hitting home runs right now. I would love to see them just overtake DC.
But Skybound is technically part of Image, correct?
Yep, correct.
So,
they're what's boosting Image's numbers right now in the top 10.
Right.
Obviously.
Yes.
And I was going to say too that based on the numbers that we do have, Image is outselling DC right now, which is insane.
Which is purely because of Eric Larson's Savage Dragon, right?
Oh, of course. Who doesn't want that like porn parody of a comic?
Yeah, who doesn't want to see those romance explosions? Yeah, in their comics. Yeah,
who doesn't want to read about some degenerate Nosferatu's barely disguised fetishes?
There you go, Nas. It's all about you, buddy. I'm looking forward to reading this issue when I get a chance. I also haven't read Black Panther. We'll see. It would be nice if we could get like a good couple of years worth of stories from the Ultimates line. Am I holding my breath? Absolutely not. But we'll see. But hey, you've got DC's summer event coming up. What is it? Mega Power? Something like that? Absolute Power? Huh?
What?
Absolute
Supreme
Power?
Absolute Supreme Power? Is it Supreme Power? Absolute
no, Supreme Power is Marvel. Like that's
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
J. Michael Straczynski doing the Squadron Supreme.
It just sounds like
it's absolute power, which sounds like the worst possible thing that you could give to Mark Waid. But
no, it's Max Power. The Homer Simpson name, Max Power.
Oh no, that was Max Damage was the name of the hero of Irredeemable, not Irredeemable, Irreversible. The other I book besides
Irredeemable.
Irredeemable. It was it wasn't Insufferable because that's the one
Incorruptible.
That's it. Incorruptible.
Okay.
Yeah. Insufferable was the one that he did on his short-lived digital website. That was where the terrible character he said was based on Mark Miller.
Oof. Jamin D says, I say give it another 5 years or so, and you'll see Indy being top seller. I wish that were the case, but nothing in our history has really shown that to be the case. Because even when you look at Image,
92, look, Image came close in 92. They really did.
Yeah.
They like so, but it can happen. It can.
Comicsgate could have done it if they didn't fall to rancor with everybody within their ranks at some point. It's just there's so much infighting there, and so much jealousy and so much backstabbing and gay ops and people talking. There's so many whisper networks within whisper networks. And that's just me like not paying too much attention and just looking in from the outside. But and maybe I'm wrong and you guys can correct me, but it just seems to me that that's the way it's going over there. And
it really is.
It is.
You're 100% correct because I've met some of these people in person, and I won't say names who I met, but I could tell you off panel. But I can't name names. But when I talked to them, they even mentioned like when a lot of them met in person for the first time, because a lot of them haven't even met each other. But when they met in person for the first time, they all were like very on shaky ground. A lot of them didn't really mesh well with one another. A lot of them didn't really trust each other. So I guess there really isn't that trust with each other. There isn't that friendship like we have. But
I was gonna say
that's part of the problem.
That's it, and to me, it's like you know, I've always looked at my friends and what they're doing, whether they're writing or acting, whatever. Like, I get excited when I see my friends do well because I care about them, and I'm not like, God, fuck this guy. I'm gonna like sabotage his shit because he's getting success and I'm not. Ugh. It's just weird. I don't know. Just like be glad that your friends are doing because I mean, also this is an industry of networking and working. Like it is a team industry. You have to work with other people.
Rising tide raises all ships, and
yeah,
that's what you should be. That's what you should be aiming for. And you know, you can not like your friend's book. You can think it's not very good. You can think that I would have done this differently, and blah blah blah. And that's all fine. That's all fine. That's a matter of personal taste. But you know, it's like try to build something that brings other people up as well, so that you can actually draw more people in instead of turning people away.
Yeah. Yeah. LK says egos and money always get in the way. Absolutely. And, you know, Aaron, you said the infighting and stuff. I do think Comicsgate also has a problem that a majority of the books they release are not good. So, you know.
No, I mean, you know, some have beautiful art and terrible stories, and some have, you know, decent stories and mediocre art, and you know, that's just the industry. You know, not everything meshes all the time, but you know, I think there's a lot of undeserved ego out there, because it's like, you know, everybody pointing the finger at everybody else's book, and it's like, you need to clean your own house first, you know, before you start talking about this guy's book over here, because you know, I've read a lot of these, and they could, a lot of them benefit from an editor. Benefit from somebody else just coming in and saying like, this doesn't make sense, this doesn't work, you know, you should probably de-emphasize this and emphasize this because this is a better part of your story. You know, everybody needs that. I'm an editor and I'm a writer, and I still pass things around to my friends to, you know, show me where my blind spots are, because I'm too close to the project. It's mine.
Absolutely.
You know, I think that you know, I volunteered to edit, you know, I love Kenneth Roquefort's art. I volunteered to edit Groken more than once. You know, I don't think that I would say that the two books I think that I've read that I would be like, I don't have any notes on these, are Aaron Lopresti's Wraith of God 1 and 2. I don't have any notes on either of those books. Those books are fantastic. And Fiendish by Rini. I think that her stuff is so solid. Everybody else, I would suggest some fine tuning here and there.
Yep.
You know, to varying degrees. You know, sometimes just a little minor tweak, and other times like major overhauls. But you know, just depends.
Agreed. I completely agree. Alrighty, folks. Well, that is going to wrap up our conversations for tonight. So before we go, I'll pass it to these two and let them kind of tell you where you can find them if you want to find them. We'll start with Aaron, since he's on the bottom of the totem pole. But Aaron, where can people find you if they want to?
What does that mean? Is that a euphemism?
I don't. I mean, we're like bloop bloop bloop. So
I don't think I'm taking a hardline stance here. I just want to go ahead and tell everybody I do not support the human centipede. That said, I don't think that's a bold stance, but maybe it is. You can find me on Twitter, where I have been told more than once that I don't give an F, because apparently I just say things that nobody else will say, and it's true. I don't care. So I'm always making fun of stuff over there. You can follow me on Instagram, and where I often post custom photos of action figures and stuff that I'm working on, or just little snippets from my life. You can come over there and chat with me there. And you can find me here. You can find me on Comics Aficionados. You can find me on Max's Man Cave on Sundays, and on various other shows when they invite me on. So always good to see you guys, and thank you to the chat. You guys are awesome. Love you. Love you.
Love you.
I love you for it.
And I love you for it. Dolan, aka Drew, aka I Write Comics. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Facebook as Dolan Waddick. You can find me on Instagram, Dolan_Waddick. And you can find me on Saturday afternoons doing the best of the week with Wes from Thinking Critical, sometimes on the Aficionados. And you'll see me mostly promoting and showing all the new art from all the comic books I'm working on. some of which are being edited by the great Aaron Sparrow right below me, right here on screen. Like Unholy Nightmare.
That's me.
Indeed. Yeah, Drew's got a lot going on that he can't talk about. So
It's driving me nuts. Trust me, it's pissing me off to the point. It's like, God damn it, I want to talk about these things.
It's the worst. Yeah, no,
it's always the worst.
It's always the worst thing. That's kind of the nice thing about doing, like, but when you do your creator-owned stuff that you're putting out yourself, is like you control the timetable. When you're doing stuff for other people, you don't. I've got something that's just a short little 4-pager, but it's really fun and I'm really proud of it. That's I can't announce till March, so that's killing me. So yeah, it's like we got a lot of irons in the fire. We got a lot of fun stuff going on that we can't
and I'm the asshole friend that likes to poke and tease at it, knowing we can't talk about it. So I'm pulling the Elmer Fudd, the shh,
likes to bring it up. Likes to bring it up and remind us.
Hey, you know that thing you're doing that's really awesome that you want to talk about that you can't talk about? Yeah, I'm mentioning it. But no, both of you guys have some good stuff coming in the pipeline. And Joe, who we've been referencing, is also just crazy busy this year with stuff going on too. So
Joe's got some good stuff coming that nobody can talk about.
Yes. Very happy to see my friends doing well. And then since Aaron mentioned Human Centipede, I highly recommend the song Red Flags by Montaigne and Tom Cardy, which references Human Centipede. So go look at that song. It's a good laugh.
Human Centipede, free right now on Tubi.
Oh God. Let's not.
This episode brought to you by the Human Centipede on Tubi.
I've never watched that movie and I don't plan on it.
No, I heard the concept and I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, I'll pass. Yeah. I am Josh McDonald. You can find me at Joshua L. McDonald on Twitter. You can also find me at ByPopped. Because we had the issues today with this whole Netflix StreamYard thing, I'm going to be looking into different outlets that we can publish these streams to in addition to YouTube, because I couldn't prep any of my promotional stuff, which sucked. But yeah, you can find me there. We're here every Tuesday. I'm on Max's Man Cave pretty much every Sunday. I am on Thinking Criticals, Comics Aficionados with Wes most Saturdays if I'm not working. This year's been a little busy on Saturdays. But yeah, I'm out and about. And Max and I have already started doing our work for Cherry Popped as far as Buffy goes. So we've got, I think, 2 watch-alongs up there. We're working through some technical challenges. We thought we could hide stuff behind paywalls and have it unlisted and just provide links and not get shut down. The popos shut us down. Well, the YouTube popos shut us down, as Kesha would say. So we're working on that, but we do have more in the pipeline. And as I said, Monday we've got a marvelous new stream debuting. So keep your eyes out for that. Until then, stay peachy, keep popping things, just, make sure they're appropriate. And I guess I will see you guys on the flip side.